America is listening to Fox News.
Now open on Guam, 511 Tactical Gear Guam, offering superior tactical apparel and duty gear for law enforcement, first responders, tactical operators, and recreational enthusiasts. You'll find Guam's largest selection of 511 pants, shirts, jackets, hats, boots, watches, knives, lights, patches, and gear bags. Shop inventories online at tacticalgearguam.com. Located in Harmon, Route 16 Army Drive between Little Wangs and the Dungeon, right next to Bargain Tactical. 511 Tactical Gear Guam. Always be ready.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars. Like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, as low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore, as low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
A U.S. naval officer in Florida is found guilty of using false information to buy guns.
The U.S. Justice Department today confirmed the conviction, which happened Friday. Fan Yang of Jacksonville was found guilty of misleading licensed firearm dealers as part of a security clearance procedure. The FBI and NCIS joined other agencies in the investigation. Yang, a Navy lieutenant, also hid from the military branch his apparently close tie to a foreign national and that he maintained a bank account in China. Yang is scheduled for sentencing next March. He potentially faces up to 30 years in prison. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A settlement reached in a fight over COVID safety measures at a pork processing plant in South Dakota. Smithfield Foods doesn't admit any wrongdoing, but agrees to pay a more than $13,000 fine and develop a plan to prevent infectious diseases at meatpacking plants nationwide. That plant was an early COVID hotspot where 4 workers died and 1,300 were infected, but the company contested a federal safety citation of its safety measures. An iconic way to ring in the new year gets a green light.
One of the most famous New Year's Eve celebrations should be back in full force this year in Times Square.
We expect a large, wonderful celebration. We're going to have some clear, smart rules to keep everyone safe.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announcing crowds are welcome to ring in 2022 in person from the so-called crossroads of the world, which last New Year's was largely empty, except for a few hundred special invite spectators, performers, staff, and frontline workers. Some precautionary measures to expect, masking, and proof of vaccination rules. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
An hour to the close on Wall Street. Stocks are lower. The Dow's down 9 points. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
Over the past 5 years, confidential data and network breaches have doubled for small and large businesses, resulting in huge financial loss. At GTA, our multi-threat security bundle is a cost-effective solution monitored by our team of experts, ready to detect known malware and stop new evolving cyber threats before entering your network.
Protect your business with confidence and call 671-644-1000 or visit gta.net/enterprise. GTA, we start with you.
Mana's not here, so we're going to start with the weather. I just love making you laugh. What can I say? Actually, it's true, though. Mana is not here. She's got something that came up urgently this morning that she's got to deal with. Everything is okay. Everybody is okay. And we can talk about whys and whatever tomorrow. We're not going to start with the weather. I'll get around to doing that. A couple of big news stories that we're going to be talking about through most of the Ray Gibson Show this morning. The fact that gasoline has gone down. I was looking at the signs yesterday. $4. We're not supposed to have newscasts. Maybe we're not supposed to have sound effects in a newscast. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I
Even though
forgot,
it is
man.
Sorry.
Wow.
I know. It's weird. When she's not here.
10% chance of Mana.
I got 0, actually. All right. So getting back to what is my top story for today, $4.98.9 of a gallon of dollars for a gallon of gasoline on Guam's roadways. Noted yesterday, also in the media here this morning. And so we've got a little bit of good news to begin the cast with here. Another piece of what some may consider good news, maybe bad news for people over at Adelup, from Candid reporting that Congressman Mike Sinicolas on running for the governor, quote, "We're definitely preparing." Mike Sinicolas said he and his team are preparing for next year's race for governor, but not necessarily focusing on the matter in the sense of a political campaign. We are, quote, "We're definitely preparing," and I'm not talking about the campaign or political sense. We're really just dialing into and drilling down on the legacy problems that our island has been suffering from, because if we're going to make this shift, we're going to go in there and resolve these things. Sinicolas, who has spent the last 2.5 years as Guam's delegate to the U.S. House of Representatives, resolving decades-old legacy issues such as war claims, earned income credit reimbursements, Medicaid parity, etc., spent 40 minutes in studio with Candid discussing problems that he would like to address. Asked whether he would run as a Democrat, Sinicolas said he would, to honor the memory of his grandfather, the late Speaker Dr. Franklin Kitigwa, who was rooted in Guam's Democratic Party. There's a great story in the Guam Daily Post coming out of Guam Memorial Hospital yesterday about a Justina Garcia going through a pregnancy which was, for all intents and purposes, uncomplicated. But complications landed her at Guam Memorial Hospital September 6th at the back end of her pregnancy. While at GMH, doctors said the baby was okay. However, Garcia tested positive for COVID-19. Doctors sent her home. She was told to quarantine and contact public health and social services. After a couple of days, she said, "I lost my sense of smell and taste. Then my body just started shutting down. I couldn't really do anything." And just like that, just like her initial visit to GMH, she couldn't feel her baby moving. They returned to the hospital on the 11th. This time, the doctor said the baby's heart rate was dropping due to the fever. They did an emergency C-section. I heard her cry, and that was it. I don't remember anything after that. Rest of the story involves her being put into quarantine, obviously, and different types of treatment at Guam Memorial Hospital. It wasn't until late October when she woke up in a hospital bed, but it would still be another few weeks before she'd be able to go home. Garcia needed almost an entire month in physical therapy. And making it home in time for a holiday reunion, Garcia cried her thanks and appreciation for her family who took care of the baby girl while she was in the hospital. Baby girl named Avery Jade. We'll be right back after a quick break. That was a quick break. All right, back into the headlines here. Hospital board nominee fielding questions about hiring in the new facility. GMH Board Authority nominee Sharon Jo Davis found herself answering questions about the hospital's hiring during her confirmation hearing with lawmakers yesterday. Current member of the Board of Trustees, she's up for reappointment as the general public representative for another 6 years. And while there were a variety of questions on things like a new hospital facility, the board began to look at certain positions that are being let at Guam Memorial Hospital. To begin with, I don't know the hospital needed a marketing position, as said Senator Joanne Brown, but really what steps are you as a board member looking at these types of positions to prioritize? Brown stated earlier that it was difficult to listen to requests for hospital funding when in practice we don't see that same priority put into those critical positions, adding later that she believed other hospital personnel could handle communications responsibilities without needing above-step recruitment. Earlier, when speaking to Speaker Terlahi, Davis had said that she's critical about hiring, but she also believed the hospital had been, quote, playing defense for years and felt it was important for the community to hear about positive aspects at GMH. In the last administration, I was always advocating for us having this PIO, Davis said, now addressing Senator Joanne Brown. I would argue a PIO is a critical position for any highly public entity, especially during COVID. I feel it's a blessing that we had a public information officer that's been able to put out information for employees, put out information to the public. Brown said she understood Davis's point of view, but didn't necessarily agree with it. We'll spend some time talking about that in the program as well. Video that landed into my phone this morning said a little bit more light on a story that they were talking about over at PNC. Streetwalkers on the rise. Maybe you've seen some of these people walking around your neighborhood. Surveillance footage shows a, quote, streetwalker outside the yard and fence scoping out the resident's window and potential victim's car. There's a rise in streetwalkers prowling village streets and scoping out houses and cars looking for and burglarize. Social media has lately been buzzing with reports about close encounters with these streetwalkers, actual burglaries, and even home invasions taking places. They define streetwalkers, criminals, often with backpacks, who ply the village streets and enter the yards of homes when they see nobody around in order to scout the potential of cars or residents in order to burglarize. I've got some video I'll show you a little bit later on in talking with Didido Mayor Melissa Savares. Among the things that she said, it's about the neighborhoods actually being more aggressive, and we've got several neighborhood watch chat groups around here. According to Savares, some streetwalkers actually commit the crime because they need food or other necessities, but she said the majority of them are stealing so they can sell the items on the street and buy meth and other illegal drugs. 6:13 in the morning. Plenty of other news. We'll get around to doing some of that in the headlines as more as the Ray Gibson Show continues. Meantime, a quick look at what's happening in the world of weather. 90% chance of rain, but Real Joe says a 25% chance of love. Today, breezy conditions, cloudy. Occasional showers and isolated thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast today. It started before I woke up this morning, and it was raining cats and dogs when Real Joe got into the building. And understand, I'm looking at the Facebook Live, I'm getting reports of more of a northerly rain that's coming down right now. I think it's going to be like that all day today, all day tomorrow. Tonight, cloudy, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Winds out of the east, 15 to 20 miles an hour. Expected highs today about 85 degrees, overnight lows 77 with a heat index. It'll feel like 90. Again, the forecast for tomorrow, mostly cloudy, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. They say that we'll see some partly cloudy skies moving in tomorrow night, and by Thursday, yeah, I know it feels like a long ways away, but by Thursday, we ought to be back into a little bit of sunshine. Sunrise this morning in about 6 minutes. Sunset tonight is going to be at 5:50. Hashtag tell the others. There's news and weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 66 years.
Here's an important message to federal employees and annuitants from Take Care. It's time to choose your health plan. Open season runs from November 8th through December 13th. Take Care offers an expanded network including GRMC, SDA, Dr. Shea, FHB Health Center, and over 1 million providers off island. Now is a great time to learn more about Take Care's 2022 FEHB offering. Visit takecareasia.com/open season 21 or call 671-647-3526. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Hapaday, konnichiwa,
Patois, ciao. Enter for a chance to win the 76 Circle K World Cuisine Giveaway. Be one of 3 lucky winners to win a passport of free food from around the world at over 15 different local restaurants. Just stop by any 76 Circle K, purchase $35 or more in fuel to get an entry form. Drive by today and taste the world with 76 Circle K's World Cuisine Giveaway. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more details. Some conditions apply. Circle K, take it easy.
Portions of the program brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home, and Nissan. It's time to elevate your ride with a brand new Nissan. Choose your favorite Nissan, no down payment. Plus, you get to choose from a couple of incredible offers, 0% APR, or your first 3 payments are on them. Sign and drive away. Inventory is limited, so don't wait. Go and see Nissan Guam first. Now, they gave me some small print to read at the bottom of the commercial. So, because the lawyers are listening, let me get this out. Unapproved credit, 3 payments calculated at 5% APR at 60 months term and based on the actual selling price of the vehicle only, not including down payment or any other aftermarket products or accessories. See Nissan Guam for full details.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters.
Yeah, I do everything around here.
Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I'll get there. I was looking at a story about how I'm supposed to be happier if I'm not on Facebook, and I don't know. I don't know if that will be true, because there's never mind. I'm not going to tell you. I've got thoughts in my head that rhymes with Daganya. I mean something. There's more of that in Facebook. You can see a lot of those kinds of things because people doing a lot of working out, going to the beach, that kind of thing. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. Quieter around here because I don't have baby sister Mona Silva Tyron. She checked in at the last minute and said probably wasn't going to be able to make it in today, and we'll get around to all of that stuff. In the meantime, and I'm looking around going, wait a second. I guess that means I got to put together a newscast here this morning, and it's easy. Here's the thing. I mean, the premise of the program here, and in fact, this radio station, we don't have a news department. Why do I need a news department? There's 5 others in town, and when I was working at one particular place, they only wanted us to do news stories that came from our own news department. And I hated that because the other guys were also doing good news. The newspapers were carrying some good news. And I thought, you know what, if I ever get around to doing a news operation and doing a news talk program, I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that there are no guardrails, all right? If PNC does a good news story that nobody else is covering, I want to talk about it. If Candid is doing a good news story that nobody's talking about, I want to be able to cover that. I don't want to have to, establish these territorial demarcations around where the news comes from. And I can't tell you how much money we're saving. It's just an obscene amount of money that we're saving, not having to hire any of that stuff. So I'm very pleased. I was able to look at what they were talking about in PNC and the PDN and the Guam Daily Post, et cetera, and KUAM, and come up with and Candid and come up with a variety of stories that I think are going to be of interest as we make our way through the program, and it should be a fairly interesting program. We got a bunch of people going to be coming in, a bunch of people to talk to about things going on in this town. Now, Candid got to spend some time with Mike St. Nicholas. He likes you better than he likes me. So, you're able to find him?
He's in the air right now. He's flying. Maybe he's coming back home.
Could be. We'll maybe
holidays.
Is there a holiday coming up?
Thanksgiving, Ray. Come on, man. I need at least that day off, bro.
Mona's birthday is coming up. That ought to be some kind of holiday around here. Anyway, 20 after the hour. That's Real Joe. He gets the phone. You call at 671-888-8255, 671-888-TALK. He'll take care of all of that stuff there. The meme machine is online here this morning. I don't know that I've had a chance to take a look at it because I was doing the news. So I didn't have a chance to take a look at it and see if there's anything in there that is of interest to me. Of interest to me last night was my dinner. The mom of the program, Pam Duvall, came by the radio station and dropped off something like chili. And I like to put hominy in my chili and in my cornbread because I think it gives it a nice little bit of an extra bite, a little bit of flavor, something like that. And there's something hominy-like in this concoction that Clayton actually put together. And I had that for dinner last night, wiped out virtually the entire bowl.
Wow, yeah.
And sopped it up with some tzitzis that Pam had given me.
It looks great, Ray.
And it went down good. went down good this morning. I tell you what. So thanks very much, Mom of the show. Well,
yeah, thanks, Pam.
I'm bachelor. And I think she's of the opinion that if she doesn't feed me, I don't eat. So there we go. Real Joe, likewise, a bachelor, Pam. So if you've got some leftovers of that, or if Clay feels like he'd like to cook for somebody, that would be all right. As I've already pointed out a couple of times, Mona ain't going to be sticking around here today. We'll catch up with her tomorrow, find out what else is going on in the world. In the meantime, you're going to have to be my news department. So if anything comes up, if you see anything out there that is interesting, do me a favor, hit me up on the meme machine. Let me know where that story is, so I can ingest it and then regurgitate it. Ingest, regurgitate. That's what we do here at the radio station. I take a look at what the big stories are, figure out what my opinion is, and then find keys that I might be able to riff on for you. One of them is going to be the weather today, and a story I didn't give you in the newscast a few minutes ago. Had to do with the story I got from the guys over at GWA. Yeah, they're working. They're working, and one of the things that they are up to is they're going to be taking a look at a bunch of manholes today, or person holes. Do I? Yeah, just
Yeah,
call me
you
Reynolds.
can,
I don't really care, and nobody's going to fire me for getting it wrong. But the story is they're asking for you to use caution while traveling in these areas. Adhere to traffic safety signs, et cetera, et cetera. Crews are inspecting sewer manholes. The first inspection will be between 9 and 9:30 at Harmon Loop Road down in Tumon, Pali San Vitores Road east at 10 o'clock in the morning. At 10:30, they'll go to Pali San Vitores west in Agate Route 2 by the Bay Dollar Store starting at 11:30, and then Agana by the Agana swimming pool, and in Tamuning in front of a Lupang Beach Tower about 3 to 3:30 p.m. In the northbound lane. Might be a couple of more places that will be affected by this. But like I said, watch out for these guys. They got to get in there every once in a while and see what's happening with the sewer systems and all of that. So that's what they're going to be up to this morning. Is 671-888. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the number out, and it's not going to be working. From James Howard says, breaking news: it's raining. Stay tuned for updated reports.
Wow.
Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Appreciate that. But I told you I don't think there might be audio towards the end of this. But this is one of those streetwalker stories that we're beginning to see on social media. A zillion stories like this. It seems like a day does not go by before somebody sends you either something that they got forwarded, or worse, something that they got that actually showed up on their video surveillance system. And there's a lot of guys with video surveillance systems out there. I've been bragging about the one that I've got at my place for a long time, because my house it bristles. It's like a brush. See, here comes the truck. The car doesn't that look like every second Melania car on Guam?
Yeah.
You just know there's some kind of crime taking place. So they've already cased the place out apparently and drove by rather slowly to make sure that the mark, the item that they were looking for, is still there. So here, let's play a fun little game. You see all of these different items here in the forefront of the video. Real Joe, which one of them do you think is going to get stole?
I like the cooler, Ray, but
I had my eye on the blue cooler as well. Blue.
But the speaker looks great.
You know, that's the fun of watching this. Can you imagine you're at the house and you know something's been stolen, your alarm system is going, and here comes the guy. Real Joe, you got it right. Yay!
Oh wow! What do I win, Ray?
He stole the speaker. He stole the speaker. I don't know. And now in the background, there is some actual audio on this, and it's the alarm system saying, oh, "You're an intruder. Please leave." And he did. To his credit, the Saki Melania left. But he took the speaker with him.
Well played, sir.
It didn't show him coming back for the cooler.
Yeah, loser.
You know, if it was a Yeti, if it was a Yeti, the guy probably would have come back for it anyway. So that's the streetwalker story, and they are everywhere these days. And you never know what it is that they're going to be looking after, and where is this guy? This is the question that I have. And do the cops know about this? Where's he going to go to fence that? So that's the trick. He's not an aspiring DJ. I don't think he's one of these guys that we're going to be seeing singing with Jack Larimer over at the Deuce at any time soon.
No.
So he's going to take this speaker and this stand, one speaker, one stand, and go fence it someplace. And the question that I have is where are these guys? And the cops have got to know who they are. Wouldn't that be one of the things that you'd just shut down? Is go and we put an end to the people that are buying these things for nothing, really, and then probably selling them closer to retail, Guam Grabs or whatever. How do we shut that part of the equation down? So these guys go, yeah, I can steal something, but I don't have anybody to give it to that will turn it into drugs. Or is it decentralized? Or is it just one of these things where among themselves, in kind of a Rotary Club for thugs, maybe these guys are getting together and they're WhatsApping, going, "Hey, I found a speaker. You want to buy this? So give me enough money so I can get what do they call it? A pan, a dish,
plate.
A plate.
A pan, a dish. Nice.
I'm sorry, not a drug guy. Okay,
I'm not a drug guy.
A
maybe.
plate of crystal methamphetamine with which to go and spend the rest of the day until the high wears off, and then they've got to go to somebody else's yard. In which case, I'll be looking for your streetwalker videos, and we'll continue to play that fun little game. What is Dasaki Melania going to steal now? 6:26 in the morning. Other items in the table of contents that we're going to be looking for here today. Gas price is down to $4. I was actually I wasn't sure So I'd gone up to take care of something over at Auntie Shelley's house, and I was on the way down, and you pass by, it's Route 8 from Barragata Heights over to where I live. You pass by a number of gas stations. So I wasn't really paying attention to it until I'd passed by the one with the McDonald's in it to see how long the line was, because maybe I was going to get something to eat. And then I remembered I got that thing from Pam. So I said, never mind. But the traffic was moving fairly slow through there, and it gave me time to take a look at the screen that showed the prices. And I'm looking at the prices. I said, there's a 4. It's leading with a 4. What is that? All of the rest of them, they've been 5 something for all this time. Diesel and the super whatever the different flavors of gasoline are, and I looked at it. It says there's a 4 on it, and I was second guessing myself. I was having that crisis of confidence, like, is that right? Am I reading that right? Maybe that's a different kind of gas. Maybe they're bringing something else in that I've never heard of before that's under $5 a gallon. What is it that conspires to bring that down? And so for those of you that are kind of curious as to where that is, I don't have a new number for tapas. I might get something tomorrow or maybe later in the morning. But the number that I have is stale dated. The website does that, not me. And so the number that I have for tapas is still about $85 a barrel, 84 something a barrel for tapas crude. West Texas crude, however, is under $80 a barrel. Finally, West Texas has gone down. So some of those jitters that I was having a little bit earlier about the price of electricity going up, maybe even prior to the LEAC, looks like maybe that's not going to be happening. 6:28 in the morning. So go. Who filled up when it was high? I did. I filled up the tank at $5.10 a gallon.
Way to go, man.
That felt rich. I felt rich, man. Because it's not like I'm spending my money on anything else these days. So I felt like Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Money Bags. You stand there, you got the thing in the tank, and a lady's like waving at you from inside the store, and you do one of these.
Oh, wow.
Thumbs up all the way. That's what that means in gas station lingo, in gas station sign language. That means fill it up, take it all the way to the top. Because otherwise, you see guys out there, they're going 5, and the lady goes like this, 5, and then a 0, and the guy goes 5, just 5. That's all I got. Quarters. That's all I got for you right now. Hey, nothing wrong with quarters. So I thought it was interesting. I wish I'd watched it, but I was otherwise occupied yesterday. But I wished I'd watched the thing over at the legislature where they were asking somebody over at the hospital. This is the way it works when and you can go back, decades really. But think about the back and forth between people that would show up from Guam Memorial Hospital and say Regine Bisco-Lee. You remember that when she was a senator, and she'd kind of like her and Benita Manzanita, Benita Manglonia, they used to have some great knockdown dragouts over at the legislature because like Regina would be like, okay, so you need money for this, and this. Yes, okay, and so now. Then they'd come back and they'd say, well, you need money for this, and this. And Regina would be like, but you said before that your priorities were this, and this. And they'd say, yeah, but we have new priorities. We got different priorities now. So here we are at a time where we're talking about the delicate nature of our public health care system and our Guam Memorial Hospital, as it were. And looking at the thing going, well, we need all these traveling nurses. We got ventilators and ICU beds for COVID-19 and all this other stuff. But they're putting together paperwork that would bring in a marketing person, not a public information officer, not a public affairs somebody. It's a marketing somebody for Guam Memorial Hospital, and starting at the and they wanted above step. They wanted to bring this person in for like $75,000 a year, and that's just the straight salary. I don't think that factors in all of the benefits and the free Band-Aids and things like that you get at GMH. And it doesn't make any kind of sense. So I applaud Senator Joanne Brown and others at the legislature going, wait. You come to us and you say, we need this for the rooftop, and we need this money for nurses, and we need this for doctors, and we got to buy more Band-Aids because they got to come in different colors now because everything is politically correct. But you say, but the real priority here, the thing that we'd really like the most is a marketing officer for the Guam Memorial Hospital, because we've been playing defense all of these. Frankly, Joanne, that might be one of the reasons why you've been playing defense all of these years is because all of a sudden we're going to be spending $75,000 on somebody on a job
where what? We have 5-figure salary, and what are, how do we define a successful hire here? How do we, what are our expectations for a marketing person at Guam Memorial Hospital? Frankly, it sounds like, when we have these, high paid marketing positions, like at the power company, and you go, why do we need this? What is there another power company that they're in competition with? Hey, congratulations, GPA. It's a 5th year in a row with the shiniest, straightest utility poles on the island. Congratulations to you. And I don't understand things like that. I mean, yeah, to a degree, they're in competition with Guam Regional Medical City, and maybe a little bit about the guys over at Navy Hospital. But honestly, if you got into an ambulance and they said, where would you like to go? What would your answer be? Because for me, it would be, where's the nearest doctor? Take me to wherever there is the nearest doctor and pretty nurse. Never mind. I read a story. I picked up a brochure about Guam Memorial Hospital the other day, and I'm just thinking, for all of my health care needs, that's where I think I'd like to go. So it might cost me my life, but take me another 10 minutes out of my way so I can go to GMH. Yeah.
The Wi-Fi ray.
Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You guys got cable TV with the TiVo? What do you say? 6:32 in the morning, lots going on. I should probably take a break so I can line up some news and headlines, because honestly, I forgot where I left you in the stories. But let me see if I can do this with just a little bit of extra. All right, ready? Quick headlines with Ray Gibson here on 93.3 The Point. PNC reporting Guam Department of Education is pondering the idea of getting your kids back to school, possible return of a 5-day in-person instruction by December, a mere couple of weeks away. GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez said that since coming back to face-to-face instruction, albeit under a 2-cohort system, things have been turning in the right direction. He says it's taken some time since the first shutdown, but the positivity rate has moved down and out of the high-risk level. Our CDC framework, it's not at the highest risk level, and we're seeing these numbers steadily trend it down. So, as we look at the past experience with COVID-19, we've seen the same peak and the same decline in the data that we saw last year. Once we get down to a certain level, we're able to reopen the schools and get back to some type of routine the latter half of last year. Currently, with the new COVID cases and the CAR score continuing to decline, GDOE is now looking at a December 1st return to 5-day face-to-face instruction. But only high school students will go first, because according to Cruz, that's Erica Cruz, the deputy superintendent, high school students, being older, have had earlier access to COVID vaccination and thus have a higher vaccination rate. They'll start working on elementary and middle school students after that. Another story, Jerry Partito reporting many restaurants and tourism-related businesses have been adversely affected by the lack of tourists visiting the island. A bill proposing a $500 debit card to be distributed to residents for use in local establishments is aimed at helping out those struggling businesses. With the holiday season almost upon us, Republican senators are again batting for the issuance of a $500 debit card to residents for use in these local establishments to stimulate the island's moribund economy. His word, not mine. Earlier in the year, Senator Jim Moylan introduced Bill 7836, the Para y Publico Act of 2021, co-sponsored by Tony Ada and Chris Duenas. Let's Get Guam Moving. The legislation was part of their Let's Get Guam Moving economic recovery initiatives, and now they're going at bat again now. As we reach the holiday season, Moylan said there are several realities that our government must accept. First, thousands of island residents are still unemployed. The federal pandemic unemployment assistance program has not been extended as of date. Hence, many families will experience serious financial challenges in the near future if they aren't facing them already. He's also reaching into the Department of Administration for access to the AS-4000. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. And a bizarre story about a police officer trainee involved in a Polaris Point crash, originally identified as unconscious, and then all of a sudden he regained consciousness and thought he was being attacked, and then started laying the beat down on the fire department personnel who were there to help him. One guy got kicked in the groin. twice.
That's like working here, Ray. I'm just saying, man.
I got you. It's 6:36. There's some headlines and more. Ray will be back in a minute. We'll talk about what's happening on Guam's roadways.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Do you or a loved one have loss of use of a hand or hands from an injury, stroke, birth defect, or pain? Then reach out to a specialist in upper extremity and hand surgery care by contacting Dr. Jerome Landstrom, board-certified reconstructive hand surgeon and microsurgeon. 671-646-HAND or visit his website at www.pacifichandsurgery.com.
Guam Auto Spot has the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage starting at $127 per paycheck. Zero down. Call 671-478-AUTO to take a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com.
You know, worst traffic yesterday morning was for folks trying to get into Naval Base Guam, a big Navy down in Suma. I'm looking at some of that right now. I can get it up on the screen so you can see what's happening. And we've got this line of traffic that starts over by the river and then makes its way, and then it gets much slower as you go inside Naval Base Guam. So I anticipate that line's probably going to grow a little bit more today, having to do with maybe potential for flooding in the area. You know, it's funny, all that construction they did over there in the last year or so, and none of it seems to address any of the flooding that occurs between Polaris and Naval Base Guam. Looking at a little bit of traffic on Route 6 as we make our way from the Navy Hospital area. Sorry, not the Navy Hospital area, but over by Flag Circle into Nimitz. Expect some delays through there right now. Nothing major in front of the governor's office. Nothing major getting into the downtown Agutnia area just yet. But we are looking at traffic beginning to build up in the north section of town. A little bit of traffic on East Song getting towards Marine Corps Drive. On Marine Corps Drive, it's not so bad except from Song over to Harmon Loop Road. You're going to see some delays through there, and probably just wet roads and intersection traffic that's going a little bit longer. Seeing just a hair traffic up in Jigo and Anderson Air Force Base, and that's the way it looks right now. Accidents or like a lot of flooding or whatever, let me know about it. Call in 888-8255 and check out Real Joe if you've got some pictures of some groovy stuff, like cars almost actually submerged on the roadways. I need to see that before the newspapers do. So hit me up on the meme machine. It's 797-8255. Brand new meme machine number. Oh, but that reminds me. What were we asking for today?
Oh, yeah. Pictures of your clean fridge.
Yeah.
Wow, Ray.
No, don't clean the fridge.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
clean the fridge. No. We want to see, and I can't remember why.
Because it's Clean Your Fridge Day.
Was it Clean Your Refrigerator Day yesterday?
Yeah, clean it out, man.
No, don't clean it out. We want to see what it looks like before it's messy. So 797-8255. If you've got a refrigerator with a story to tell, and let it tell the best possible story about you. And if you're one of those people that you take a whole lot of pride in the organization, the cleanliness of your refrigerator, we want to see that. But we also want to see the ones where I'm a mess and I'm proud of it. I'm a mess, and you're going to be able to make out. I don't cook anything in here, so I've got a week's worth of leftovers from all of these different restaurants. There's Mescla, there's Chili's over there. There it is. That's Jamaican Grill right there. All these different places. That's what I want to see. 797-8255. Give you an excuse to get that meme machine number into your phone. In 20 minutes at 7 o'clock.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Contact Express Financial for all your financial needs. Express Financial is consumer lending at its very best. They also have a host of dealer service programs with quick approvals. There are 3 ways to apply. Over the phone at 637-9834. You may visit their office in person at 600 Harmon Loop Road across the street from Costules. Or you can also visit their webpage and apply at myexpressfinancial.com. In most cases, you'll get your money the same day.
Preceding has been brought to you by Guam Memorial Hospital, the best hospital on Guam. We said so. See, that just didn't that, what does that sound like? What's that going to sound like when they get a marketing officer for $75,000? And like I said, how do we determine the effective results of this? What, the number of public information stories that go out a week? Are we going to produce a pretty glossy brochure? Hey, it's the anniversary. Well, there's a reason why. There's a great reason why. It's the anniversary of something over at Guam Memorial Hospital, and we're going to have to put together some kind of a brochure.
It's our anniversary.
Exactly. Portions of it, and we'll sell advertising on it. Wendy's new Big Bacon Cheddar finally here. It's got everything that you could possibly want in your burger. Creamy cheddar cheese, applewood smoked bacon, sweet bacon sauce, and crispy onions, all in a toasted cheddar bun. There's meat in there as well. I didn't say anything about the meat, but just it's a given. It's a big Wendy's chunk of beef here. Hurry, try one today. Only at Wendy's. We gotcha.
Any speaker, anytime. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, 6:42 in the morning, and I realize now I'm just so excited, so darn excited about doing the news and doing my program. I forgot to go over the top 10, etc. on the Facebook Live to see who's hanging out on the Facebook Live is like the front of the bus, and then we got the bad boys in the YouTube Live in the back of the bus having their own little conversations and making spitwads and smoking clove cigarettes. Number one, Colin Clark, my bro, is at number 1 here, followed by Brad Wood. Sherry Iriarte, I see Jay Rojas, aloha, and happy birthday to you, Jay. And don't forget, tomorrow is Mana's real birthday. We got Bill Petit watching the program, John Ray Titano, Heather Perez. I don't think it's a poem, but it's a long read from Ismail. It says, in the 20th century, the U.S. Supreme Court applied the Establishment Clause to the states through the 14th Amendment. The Establishment Clause separates church from state, but not religion from politics or public life. Individual citizens are free to bring their religious convictions into the public arena, meaning that the AG and the governor have no business being involved in someone's decision based on each citizen's faith or religious belief, meaning that no one should have to go through the government or some agency to request a religious exemption, because that's between the person and their God. I want to see this in court. So they've suspended, apparently. We didn't get a chance to talk about it too much yesterday, but they've apparently suspended the issuance of religious exemptions. You want to talk about a sticky wick and something that nobody wants to touch with a 10-foot pole, except the lawyers. The lawyers for the plaintiffs. They're the ones, they want to hit this with a 10-foot pole. I know a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Jacoby and Myers.
And so he's a Roman Catholic in the military, and so he does not want to take the vaccine. He doesn't want to get tested. He thinks it's a kind of an overreach, so he has asked for a religious exemption. And the first thing they make him do is meet with a chaplain. And I'm going, why? Why? There should not be you need to talk to a chaplain about your religious exemption. You should not have to explain it to anybody. It is, therefore, it is. You shouldn't have to be in a position where somebody is quizzing you on what Jesus' dog's name when he was a baby. It's in the
Bingo.
Yes, Bingo was his name. Sorry, you should not be quizzed on how many commandments there are, how many apostles there were, what Mary Magdalene really did for a living, and all of that kind of thing. Yeah, I saw the.
Wow, Ray.
No, it's in the movie. It's in that movie, based on that Dan Brown book. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, so there should not be any of that, and you shouldn't even have to be asked what religion you are. Grounds of religion. I refuse this mandate on religious grounds. I would like an exemption, and all they should be able to say that is yes. Yes, or come up with, and I don't know what a good answer for no is. No, we are not going to give you a religious exemption because you look like a sinner. You look like you hang out with Jimmy Moylan, Ray Gibson, and Bobby Schwingy. Huh? Where were you on Super Bowl? Where were you for the Super Bowl? So I am with you, Ismail. Unfortunately, I keep waiting for a shoe to drop. So instead of answering the questions on religious exemptions, they're just going to leave that lie. If we take no action, then we can't get in trouble until, I suppose, people who would normally be using a religious exemption actually have something to do with their business and their lives and their incomes harassed. I got let me see, Cheryl Ochai is there, Felix Bumba, Buenos and Afide to Auntie Bennett, Lujan Duenas, Bill Cruz, B-Man Dennis Larson online, Joey Keats is saying good morning. I see Nick Perlowski. What you growling about today, Nick? Is it good? Is it something that we're going to enjoy talking about here today? Eunice Mendiola, Jay Nauta is online. Carlene Harker saying, half a day, Ray. Well, half a day to you, Carlene. Nice to have you there. Good morning, Ray Mana, Real Joe, and Jerry. Enjoy your Tuesdays. Thanks, Jerome McDonald. I certainly appreciate that. Got my accountant buddy, Renee Lau, saying, half a rainy Tuesday. Like half a day? Tuesday. Thank you very much. Valerie Untalan, good morning, and it's raining super hard up north. Drive safe, everybody. Got your woot-woot back. Let me see. Joe Cruz, the real Joe Cruz is online in here this morning. There's Patty Cruz, Joe Bumba, the mom of the show, Pam Duvall, Frankie Perez, and Rich Fran Tenorio Kitsutsu watching the program. Ismael Velez coming in hot this morning. Kenneth Polino, there's Carolyn Long, Frank Perez. I already said him. Joe Dizon, William John Shadon is watching. So is Michelle Kitachai. Buenos and half a day to Cameron Mendiola. Ding Scambaluri. Am I the only one that's allowed to call him Ding? Or pretty much everybody does, right?
Maybe.
Or Raph.
Yeah.
I think you get Ding out of Raphael. You guys are related. How'd that happen?
I don't know.
What do we got? Let me see. Olivia Marie Ekfadzi Palacios is online. And so is Joan Fullerton. Trina San Augustine is hanging out here. Jerome says the oil company made enough money for their Christmas bonuses, and now the price of gasoline will start to fall away. I'm thinking that there's probably been some kind of massive subsidy that the White House sent out there somewhere to bring that price down because Joe Biden has been just battered around. Him and Kamala Harris have been absolutely battered around. Have you seen the new numbers for these guys? I think Biden's numbers are like 38, and you go, wow, that's pretty bad. And then they say, yeah, but Kamala's is like 28, and they're starting to be CNN. This is bad when CNN starts reporting on how bad things are in the White House. CNN reporting about a division now between the Biden White House and Kamala's vice presidency house. So we'll watch and see what's going to be happening with that. Is there about to be civil war in the Democrat Party? Stephen Applegate, day 610 of the 15 days to flatten the curve. Welcome to it, Brad. Duck online. Deanna Palmer is hanging out. Roosevelt Jackson Jr., half a day to you, and nice to see you. That Peter Santos, where you at? I got one dead Benjamin on MSN for governor. Oh, call him out, Colin.
Wow.
Call him out. All right. Are we gonna start doing that? Colin, wait. Just time out. Because there was nothing in that candid article that said, yes, I'm running. We got to wait until he goes to the Guam Election Commission and picks out his paperwork. That's when we will know maybe what position he's running for. That's when we ought to have a sense of finality here with regard to Mike St. Nicholas running for governor of Guam. I'd like to see it personally for lots and lots of different reasons, but I think we're going to have to wait out until he's decided that he's got that machine. Deanna says, "Wow, Ray, you're on super fast speed reading and talking." Sorry. You know, you're right. I probably should pace myself a little bit because, we got a full 4-hour show today, right? We're doing 4 hours? That's the plan?
Man and boy.
I think, yeah. But that's okay. If I talk super fast, then you won't be able to tell when I'm repeating my stories. Let me see who else is playing around. Juanita Ugun Sablan, Buenos and half a day. Tim Zedeker is online. So is Marie Babauta Ballman. Right click. Colleen Diego. Right click. 2 of them in a row. Real Joe. 3. Dorothy Jesus saying good morning. Kakudu. Are you trying to say Kaduku? Either or. Yvette Reeves is there. I might have to screenshot this for a reminder later on. Hold on. Is Senator Jesse Anderson Lahan online here this morning? Senator Jesse Anderson Lahan, have you decided whether you're running yet? Did I ask him and he said yes or no, or what?
Yeah, he might. He said if Mana does.
If Mana does.
He's lifting, though, already. He's starting to lift. He's preparing.
Not bad. Joanne Taitano is there. Doris St. Nicholas. Kofi Amoaka is online. So is Jennifer Calvo Guzman. Dan Rizal. Pretty Sarita Gurin is checked in. Brennan Fausto, Anna Marie, Armando Dominguez. Yes, that one is there. Charis Joy Dionaldo. Buenos Zenhafa to you. Harvey Egna. And, there's going to be more. And you know what's going to suck is I'm going to say there's going to be more, and I'll get around to talking about, other stuff in the table of contents. And then I'll realize that I'm missing a whole bunch of names. That happened yesterday. Lauren Michelle was online. And watching the show. And I kept meaning to go back and doing a shout to her and thank her for watching the thing. But I don't know. We got busy with too many other things, so I'm not sure. Let me see. Post Canteen. Oh, talking about the streetwalker story. Says a couple of people showing up with a large caliber hole in their head would end this crap quick. Lead me not into temptation. I can find it myself. Good morning, Julene Helgenberger, Samuel Tarag. Good morning to you. Always good to see some new names in here. Ismail with an interesting take here on something else. If Kyle Rittenhouse is acquitted, I hope his lawyer files libel and defamation suits against ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, newspapers, Joe Biden for the tune of about $7 billion. Maybe then presidents will stop getting involved in cases that do not involve the White House. Thank you very much, Obama, right? That is going to be a problem. Yahoo News. Yahoo. I don't want to say news. But they've got on the front page of their website this morning, getting a tip from an expert. Says Rittenhouse trial may be the tipping point back. It says, as this is America in 2021. As the trial draws to a close, one expert says the verdict could see the country's social justice reckoning that peaked with George Floyd swing back in the other direction. The expert says the case that vindicates white people. And in my head, I'm still trying to figure out how the race baiters got involved in this case. So there's a white kid that went to a protest, and there were a bunch of Antifa thugs there that threatened him with physical danger, and so he raised his rifle in self-defense and killed two of them and winged another guy, right?
Yes, sir.
But the other three guys, they're all white guys, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, media.
Wow.
Thank you, media, for giving us another president. And so what they've called out the National Guard. They've called out the National Guard to protect the streets because the guy from BLM has come out and said, well, I won't do it, but I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of people going out there and to protest. And by protest, I mean burn the town down to the ground. No good can come of this. And getting the guys out there with the National Guard, I would hope provides enough of a safety and security net for businesses and people that live in those areas to be able to shore up their defenses and or get the hell out of there, because it just sounds like that's going to be the next Tinder, next hotspot in the United States of America. And then we'll see how the great, what do they call him, the great uniter, Joe Biden, is going to be able to rebuild our country out of the ashes of Kenosha.
Build back better.
We will.
Yeah.
It's a build back bad boy out there. All right, 6:55 in the morning. So much to talk about here this morning in the news and lots of other stuff. Front page of the Pacific Daily News with an interesting picture. And I don't know if you've had a chance to see it. I was looking at it this morning and I actually bought the newspaper because I thought it was interesting. At-home test adoption faces barriers. And I was looking at this thing going, hey, do we have these things here? And I guess the answer is yes, but that's one of the barriers is they can't keep them in stock in a lot of the pharmacies. So you go in there, for your Viagra and your toenail medicine and whatever, and you go, hey, they've got these QuickView at-home COVID-19 tests. And the lady says, well, you better buy that one because it might be the last box for somewhere between $35 and $55 something odd dollars that would go into this. Do you want to know that bad? whether or not you've got COVID-19, or is it worth your time to go sit in a line somewhere and get tested someplace else? Maybe it's the long swab, maybe it's the short swab, but I don't know. And this is another way my brain works. So if I go and I spend that money and to find out if I've got COVID-19 and it comes back with a minus sign, as in negative, I go, crap, man, wasted $50. That's how many 12 packs of beer is that? Depends it depends on what you're buying, right? Yeah, I get you. How many lap dances?
One.
I'd be kind of disappointed.
I don't know.
You know, it's like, well, I spent $50 for a COVID test, you know, because I was drinking a beer that had no flavor and I thought I had COVID, and then it comes out negative. I could have used that money for something else. So I don't know how I would feel about something like that, but I guess it's a question that we're going to have to ask ourselves, because COVID-19 is never, ever going away. We're always going to have COVID-19. We're always going to have restrictions, and we're always going to have some excuse to get ourselves tested one way or the other, positive or negative, to confirm what we've got going on. And then I guess there's the other part of it that they allude to in the article, which is basically, if you come up positive, what are you supposed to do with that information?
Don't ask, don't tell.
That's what I said. That's what I said. All right.
But they look so happy, Ray. Look.
Gonna go and hunker down. Well,
look at the marketing, man.
No, those are the people in the Viagra ads.
It is.
It is. Those are the guys in the Viagra ads. They just took them and they superimposed those pictures on that one to make it look like, just wait a second. Let's take a look at that picture here. Oh, that's not the Viagra ad. I'm sorry. I thought that was.
It's almost one.
I thought that was a woman. It's not a woman. Real joke.
It's not.
All right, put your newspapers.
I can't tell these days.
Put your newspapers down, kids. 6:57 and change. And on the COVID front, I should probably print it out. The only thing that I was really looking for on the JIC report this morning was the interesting headline that said that two more individuals have died with COVID-19. Which should take us to 260, but they were looking at a couple of other cases and said, no, we were initially wrong. They did not die as a result of COVID-19, so we're still at 258 fatalities. They still died, but they just didn't die with COVID-19. Yeah, I guess that's the way. Reclassified is the word they're using. Question that I have, though, is, wait. You originally said they had COVID-19, and which ones were they? This is one of those things that lingers around in my head. You need to go back and say, on this date, when we told you it was a 25-year-old with unknown underlying conditions with COVID-19, what we meant to say was it was a 25-year-old with unknown underlying conditions that didn't have COVID-19. Is that so? What was it that made you think this person had COVID-19? Under what grounds was this taken back? Now, the conspiracy theorist in me says, yeah, we sent the paperwork off to the CDC to get our check, and they said, no, that doesn't meet our requirements for recompensing you for COVID-19, so no $45,000 for you, no $45,000 for that one. That's right, because that's the way everybody thinks these days. So it's an easy thought to get into my head. Closing it on 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, as I said, we got a couple. Oh, by the way, might as well give you the number. I don't know how meaningful or relevant it's going to be, but for those of you keeping track, yesterday we were car score under 5. We are car score today under 4. It's 3.9. We got 3.9 on the car score, which means. Doesn't mean anything.
Freedom?
It doesn't mean no freedom. You guys gave up your freedom last year. We expect they're going to get it back now that they figured out all the different buttons to push. If we scare you enough, you'll surrender your children to us. Yeah, another conspiracy theorist line. Hey, look, 7 o'clock in the morning, Fox News Live coming up in a second. I will have a quick look at news and headlines. I'm not going to put as much effort into it as Mona does, because, I'm lazy. I'd rather get back to the talk. Jerry Roberts has got the extra point. That's all ahead here on The Point.
People shot in a Colorado park. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Police in Aurora just confirming the shooting at Nome Park that's near Central Aurora High School, which is now on lockdown. Police say 5 people were taken to the hospital from the park, all teenagers. They say the suspect is unknown and no longer at the scene. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon makes his first court appearance in federal court after being indicted for contempt of Congress in the Capitol riot probe.
A D.C. federal magistrate is releasing Steve Bannon, now indicted on 2 counts of being held in contempt of Congress for allegedly not complying with House committees investigating the January 6th incursion into the U.S. Capitol. Bannon, however, says the prosecution is political.
Nancy Pelosi is taking on Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. She ought to ask Hillary Clinton how that turned out for them, okay? We're going on the offense.
Claiming that former President Trump's executive privilege precluded him from testifying. Bannon is facing a maximum of 2 years if convicted. Eben Brown, Fox News.
The judge postponing today's arraignment for Bannon, though, and setting another hearing for this Thursday. In Wisconsin, prosecutor Thomas Binger painting Kyle Rittenhouse as the instigator of 3 shootings during riots in Kenosha last year.
The crowd sees the defendant running with a gun. He's lying to them. He still has the gun. He's shot someone. This is provocation to them. This is someone who has committed a criminal act and is putting people in danger.
2 people were killed, 1 wounded. Attorneys for Rittenhouse using their closing arguments to lay out his self-defense case. He could face life in prison if convicted. 3 Ottawa Senators hockey games now postponed. The first COVID delay of the fall season for any pro sport in North America. Senators games tomorrow in New Jersey, Thursday against Nashville, and home against the Rangers Saturday postponed after 10 players entered COVID protocols. America is listening to Fox News.
Great news, Guam! Chili's 2 for Dining is back. Enjoy a full-on meal deal made for 2 for just $35. Start with 2 Coca-Cola beverages, an appetizer to share, and 2 mouth-watering entrees like the sizzling personal fajitas, the mouth-watering honey chipotle steak and shrimp, or Chili's world-famous fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs. Available for a limited time. Dine in today or call 648-7377 to place to-go orders. Chili's is located on the 2nd floor of Tumon Sands Plaza. Chili's. Savor the moment.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars. Like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. As low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore. As low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
Boeing wins approval from a judge for its settlement with families over the crash of an Ethiopian Airlines jet 2 years ago, one of 2 crashes that led to the grounding of MAX jets.
A judge signed off on Boeing's deal with the families of the 157 people killed on board a 737 MAX aircraft in Ethiopia. A specific amount wasn't released, but the deal says Boeing will admit its liability and the families won't ask for punitive damages. Boeing has said they will make sure all families are fully and fairly compensated. Boeing's already settled with the Justice Department and several families over a similar crash in Indonesia. Boeing's former chief technical pilot's been indicted, accused of intentionally misleading the FAA about Boeing's new flight control system, alleging he withheld important changes made to the system before the crashes. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
The U.S. and Britain are calling out Russia, saying a weapons test was to blame for more than 1,500 pieces of space junk now threatening the 7 astronauts on the International Space Station. The State Department says it was reckless and irresponsible for Russia to destroy one of its old satellites in an anti-satellite weapons test. The U.S. Space Command is tracking the debris and sending the station crew into docking capsules as a precaution at times today. The owner of some fast food giants goes shopping.
Restaurant brands, the owner of Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Hortons will be snapping up quick service chain Firehouse Subs for $1 billion. The acquisition comes at a time restaurant brands' popular chains are struggling due to increased competition from rivals. Firehouse was founded in Jacksonville, Florida in 1994 by brothers and former firefighters Chris and Robin Sorensen and has roughly 1,200 locations. Like restaurant brands' other chains, the majority of its locations are operated by franchisees in 46 states and Canada and Puerto Rico.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. Stocks finished lower, but not a sell-off. The Dow down about 15 points at the close. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Oh, what's
for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Sorry, it takes me a second to get things going here. I wanted to make sure I started off with the two big stories here today. The gasoline is now at $4.98, 0.9. So essentially, it's $4.99 for a gallon of gasoline here on Guam in the one grade. You can spend more if you want to. That is your prerogative. But the gas companies yesterday had reduced their prices now to $4.99. And the other big story in my mind from Candid News, Congressman Mike Nicholas says we're definitely preparing. Is he running for governor? Nothing definitive in this story other than the quotes, we're definitely preparing. I'm not talking about the campaign or political sense. We're just really dialing into and drilling down on the legacy problems that our island has been suffering from, because if we're going to make this shift, we're going to go in there and resolve these things. St. Nicholas, who spent the last 2.5 years as our delegate to the U.S. House of Representatives, resolving decades-old legacy issues, war claims, earned income credit reimbursements, Medicaid parity, etc., spent 40 minutes in studio with candidates discussing problems he'd like to address and resolve if elected governor. Among the topics discussed, the easing of the tax burden, a radical idea to force down the price of gas and the development of homes to bring down the cost of housing, investments into education, and beefing up police services. Beefing up police services takes us into another story, talking about the number of streetwalkers that we've got out there. Not necessarily streetwalkers like you'd see in the movie Pretty Woman, as much as there's a bunch of people got no jobs, got nothing else to do except to walk around the village and take a look inside your driveways and your backyards to see if there's anything that they can fence. Images popping up on social media everywhere these days, and so you are urged to take a look out. Mayors are suggesting, if you aren't already, find a way to join your village neighborhood watch program. You might be at the house for a few hours a day while everybody else is at work. Keep an eye on things, and if you see something that looks out of place, put it up on your WhatsApp chat group, and then call the police and let them take care of things. And 8 after 7 o'clock in the morning, Guam Department of Education eyes a return to face-to-face instruction around December the 1st. This is good news. PNC reported last October that DOE was studying various scenarios for the possible return of 5-day in-person education by December. And it looks like most of those plans are in place right now as they watch the numbers begin to fall. Currently, the new COVID cases and the CAR score continuing to decline. DOE is now looking at December the 1st to return to 5-day face-to-face instruction. But only high school students will be going in first, because high school students, being older, have had earlier access to COVID vaccination, and they have higher vaccination rates. As for elementary and middle school students, Cruz said the plan is to bring them back to 5-day face-to-face instruction by January after the Christmas break. They plan to discuss its plan to return to 5-day classroom instruction with stakeholders later this week. Now, you might be wondering, do we have enough people in the schools to return to 5-day-a-week deals? And the answer is we'll find out after the job fair this weekend. Details on that coming up.
Attention! Lolita Kamet is now with Hoffaday Realty. She'll always be that hardworking and passionate real estate professional who is committed to helping you make a difference in your life and helping you achieve the American dream of home ownership. She also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, military and corporate relocation. So for all your real estate needs, call Lolita Kamet now with Hoffaday Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
7:10 in the morning, the Ray Gibson Show. It's Tuesday, the 16th. In other headlines here, mayors looking at 2022 to reopen the senior centers island-wide. Problem is, based on this story, it's hard to tell when exactly they're talking about opening them. By the time Guam senior citizens open sometime in 2022, it will be about 2 years since they were shut down by COVID-19 in March of 20. Retrofitting of facilities and updating health and safety guidelines are ongoing, said Vice President of the Mayor's Council, Robert Hoffman, also the Mayor of Sinanya. The Department of Public Health and Social Services Division of Senior Citizens has recently gone round to do readiness assessments of senior centers. They've brought samples of plexiglass guards and where they would need to be placed. In Alahan, Mayor Anthony Chargaloff said he's not received any updates when DPHSS plans to reopen the senior centers, but it's more likely, he said, that it's not until next year. Senior centers are now federally required to have air filtration systems, among other things, but these have yet to be installed. Executive Director Angel Saplan said public health is actively working on providing senior centers with the necessary protocols in place before they open. And when they open, if Mayor Hoffman has his way, they'll all open at the same time, not just a few. It's not fair to the Manumco, he says. The required social distancing also means senior citizen centers can accommodate fewer seniors compared to pre-pandemic periods. And this story here, I'm going to tease a little bit of this story, but later on I'll actually look at the magistrate report because it is indeed one of the more bizarre stories that we've got here today. Officers from Agate responded near Polaris Point about 11:45 Sunday morning. Truck driven by 24-year-old Jose Uggan who is also a GPD police officer trainee traveling north. When attempting to change lanes, he hit another car, flipping multiple times while the other vehicle struck a concrete utility pole. It's got the makings for a bad accident. Uggan was injured and needed medical assistance. According to the complaint, the medics stated that he was conscious but not verbal on the scene. When being placed inside the ambulance, Uggan allegedly kicked one of the medics in the groin, slapped the other in the face. The report also indicates that Uggan may have been under the influence of alcohol during the time of the crash. He was interviewed. He told officers that he was unconscious, and when he regained consciousness, thought he was being attacked. Uggan, charged with assault on a police officer, is a third-degree felony, booked and confined. A traffic investigation is ongoing, and our understanding is that he is now on administrative leave while this investigation continues. 7:12 in the morning. It's time for weather. Breezy today, cloudy, occasional showers and isolated thunderstorms. And I think by occasional, they mean virtually every minute of the day today is going to somewhere it will be raining on Guam. East winds up to about 25 miles an hour. Now, for most people, this isn't going to be a problem. But for you ladies that work at the GCIC building, you know, you got that little Venturi effect going on in what is actually called a breezeway. Be careful there. I would sew some lead weights into the skirt if that's what you're going to be wearing. Cloudy and scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms tonight. We can expect mostly cloudy, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms tomorrow. By tomorrow night, the weather guys say maybe we're going to get some partly cloudy skies moving in, but be prepared for more isolated showers and thunderstorms. Sunrise this morning at 20 after 6. Sunset tonight's going to be at 5:50. Hashtag tell the others. 90% chance of rain and a 25% chance of love, according to Real Joe Cruz here this morning. It's 7:13. And there was another thought in my head. This is important. I need to tell you about this. We've got 90% of our plant here for the radio station is inside. They got studios and microphones and speakers and all that other stuff. But there's a good portion of the radio station infrastructure that's outside. In the weather, lightning, thunder, all of that stuff. There is a possibility, as remote as I'd like to think it is, you know, because I got people that keep track of these kinds of things. But you never know what's going to happen. If, for some reason, we lose the 93.3 link to your actual radio, there's a bunch of different ways that you can stay up on the program. Facebook Live is an example. YouTube Live. You can go to thepoint.gu, and we're constantly streaming, sending a signal out, audio and video out to thepoint.gu. And you can download the app. 93.3 streaming app. You can find that on the Apple Store and the Google thing. Go and download that. It's absolutely free. Lots of features, bells and whistles, and that kind of thing. And it allows you to be able to hear what's happening on the radio, even when you're not actually listening to the radio. Wherever the internet is sold, you'll be able to tune in. So do me a favor and hit that. While I'm talking about that, also do me a favor, hit the share button on whatever it is that you're listening on. That way you can tell everybody that this is the place that you come to in the mornings to find out what's going on Guam and what Ray Gibson has to say about that. I told you about a GDOE job fair. That's coming up next.
Ring in the season with Coca-Cola and Burger King's Holiday Giveaway. Your chance to win one of 4 holiday signature prize packs at participating Burger King restaurants. Each holiday prize pack includes a retro vending fridge, kettle popcorn maker, a mountain smoker, an Arctic speaker cooler, and a camping hammock. Purchase any Whopper combo meal at Burger King or frozen dessert drink and get a chance to win. Check your receipts to get your transaction code and enter online on the Coke Guam website. Promotion ends January 6, 2022. Happy holidays to you from your friends at Burger King.
Leah Dunca from Security Title here with a little information about trusts. A trust is a legal entity capable of owning property. It can protect property from issues such as lawsuits or divorce and can be used to distribute property and avoid probate. Many trusts start as revocable but become irrevocable when the initial trustees die. Work with your estate planning attorney to see if a trust is a good fit for your family property. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Hey, it's the Ray Gibson Show being brought to you by the guys over at Docomo. Build a customized bundle that's got the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. You're saying, wait. TV for my business? What do I need that for, Raymond? You need that because it will make the ladies in accounting so happy when they can go and eat lunch in the lunchroom and watch their soaps or whatever. The more services you add, the more you save. It's Docomo Pacific's Business Bundles Plus. Call or visit today at Docomo Pacific. Work better together.
The Ray Gibson Show, bringing you closer to the action. This is The Point, Guam's FM News Talk Superstation.
.17. Hello, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show. A little bit messier now because it's just boys. We're just boys here at the radio station. 797-8255. 797-8255. That's the meme machine number. And your assignment here this morning is because yesterday was National, clean the refrigerator day? I found out about it too late to do anything with it yesterday. But today, in honor of yesterday's thing, do me a favor. Get me a picture of what your refrigerator looks like. We'd like to see it. Now, Pam Duvall is the mom of the program and sent us a picture of what Pam and Clay's refrigerator looked like. Now, I'm calling foul on this one already. What do you think, Jer? Fake. Definitely fake.
This is the after photo, no doubt.
Well, it says before cleaning. I'm not so sure about that. It says like way too clean there. Lots of eggs in there, lots of milk. You can see there's juices for the kids and all this other stuff. But I don't think this is Clay's house because I only count 3 beers. I'm only
Those are all Pam's.
Those are all Pam's, I bet. But they got 2 big old things of mustard there, so
I see
that's
the 2
okay.
big old things of mustard as well. What are you using all of that mustard for here, guys? 7:18 in the morning. If you've got something like that you've got to show off. And again, I'm looking for 2 different things. I'm looking for people who've got their lives together and their refrigerators prove it. I'm a bachelor. I would be afraid to put mine up there because you'd be able to. I might talk a good game. I might sound like I've got my life together and that everything is hunky-dory and all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and is all completely organized. But you open up my refrigerator and it's a disaster. It is a disaster zone in there.
Exploded ketchup bottles.
I get now as an example. Now we got to look at Pam Duvall's. You look at the bottom of her refrigerator, and she's got the crisper drawers in there, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Veggies,
I put batteries
fruits.
in there. I get. I don't know.
Batteries cold, Ray.
Because it's got this one is like for fruits and one for vegetables. Like, what's the difference? What is there one that I've got to keep a little bit? There's a little like a valve
contamination
that I don't know what's connected to. I'm brains the size of a planet, right? Generally the smartest guy in whatever room I walk into, but when it comes down to those little sliders on the crisper things, I am absolutely lost. as to how they are possibly affected.
Did you hear what he said? The same thing I heard what he said?
I did.
He's not going into enough rooms, obviously.
Brains, well, it's COVID. It's COVID. I wasn't able to say that until March of last year. But now, because I'm not going into as many rooms as I did before, I think it's fair to say that I might be about the smartest guy when I walk into the room. I'm not as smart as Mike St. Nicholas, but I'm right up there. We were talking earlier.
Who is?
No, it's hard. It's hard. I gotta. There was a story here about the Department of Education. They want to go back into face-to-face for at least the high school students in a couple of weeks. Literally in a couple of weeks. And you might be wondering, do they have enough people? For a lot of reasons. No, they didn't have enough teachers to get started. They get the school year started, if you'll recall. And there might be a number of teachers and other staff of the school system now that said, yeah, vaccinate or test weekly. Bye-bye. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So they're having a job fair this weekend. It'll be at Ugudu High School up in Dadidu. They're looking for school aides, on-call substitute teachers, community program aides, and aides and community program aide twos. Now, it looks like the difference there is if you apply for the community aid 2 because of all of these positions, they are the highest paid. Community program aid will make $11.89 an hour. And for those of you that are just school aid ones or community program aid ones, and I have no idea what the distinction is between those two different groups, those are both $10.14 an hour. And on-call substitute teachers. And this is probably why they don't have a whole lot of them. The going rate for that is $11.14 an hour. If everybody that had these jobs right now at these wages quit, they could go on and double their salary just with SNAP cards, just with Quest cards, right? And a variety of the other free things that the government of Guam gets. I'm just wondering here if we're getting everything that we're paid for here. Please visit the GDOA Human Resources Division job fair link or click on the QR code in the newspaper for the official job announcements, et cetera, et cetera. If you want more information, somebody might answer the phone at 475-0496. But my guess is they're getting $11.14 an hour. So at $11.14 an hour, I can listen to a phone ring for a long, long time. 722, and this might sound like a trick question. It's not meant to, but the question that I'm going to be asking is, where does where does King's Hawaiian Rolls, where are they made? King's Hawaiian Rolls.
By the volcano, brother. Mauna Lea.
A judge has tossed claims over King's Hawaiian Rolls packaging. A logo depicting a crown slightly evocative of a pineapple alongside the words Hilo Hawaii did not persuade a federal judge to accept claims that King's Hawaiian misleads customers into believing their rolls are actually made in Hawaii. They apparently are not. King's Hawaiian sweet rolls haven't been made in Hawaii for some time, but a federal judge found the company doesn't mislead consumers about the fact. Oakland resident Deisha Hodges joined Roxanne Calamarino from New York in suing King's Hawaiian Bakery West over packaging that gives the mistaken impression that its original, quote, Hawaiian rolls are actually made in Hawaii using traditional ingredients like pineapple juice and honey. The label prominently features a 3-point crown suggestive of the crown of a pineapple, the reputed king of fruits. According to their class action, it also includes established 1950 and Hilo Hawaii in reference to the company's founding. A close examination of the fine print reveals the rolls are actually made in Torrance, California. Been there since 1977. And all of that, including their appearance in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with a float that they call the Aloha Spirit, still wasn't enough for this federal judge to support the claim that there was something going on, some disingenuosity that was taking place in the marketing of King's Hawaiian bread.
Yeah.
There it is. Torrance, California.
Desperate.
Well, okay.
Those guys are desperate.
So I'm reading the rest of the story. It obviously comes out of the Hawaii Free Press. I'm reading the rest of the story about ingredients. The packaging plainly states the rolls are made in California. The mere use of geographic reference, including a reference to the company's historical origin, does not convey a representation about a product's current origin. Then they go and take a look at another case. This is Bob Klitsky stuff here. Shalikar versus Asahi, where the court found consumers had plausibly alleged deception because Asahi stopped using higher quality Japanese water after it moved their production to Canada. I drink Asahi Super Dry. Are you telling me that my Karakuchi is not made in Japan? It didn't come in on a ship, something, the real Joe Maru, into the port of Guam, that it instead came from Japan? From Canada? Is that what's happening?
Except that in Canada, you might be drinking glacier water.
It might be
in the northern part. You never know.
I don't know. It's
glaciers in
super.
Canada.
This is where us conservative get cocked up on the COVID-19 when they say things like, "Well, I don't know what's in the vaccination, so I'm not going to take it." And here we are admitting freely we're not really sure where Hawaiian bread is made or where Japanese beer comes from because the world has completely changed and we're not keeping track of where all of the ingredients for all of those kinds of things are coming from. Is it possible that inside Pam Duval's refrigerator, where there is Mexican beer, that it doesn't actually come from Mexico? Real Joe, look it up while we're doing the thing.
Oh, really?
Where does Corona actually come from? Where does it actually get brewed at? And would the answer surprise us? Inquiring minds want to know. It's 7:26 in the morning. Just a quick look at what's happening on the markets today. Everybody is down. S&P 500 off by a 0.1 point, 4,682. The Nasdaq off by 7 points, 15,853, and the Dow lost 12 points to close at 36,087. At those kind of numbers, it's basically a flat day for the U.S. markets. Other markets doing a little bit better. FTSE is up by 3. The Nikkei up by 166. They picked up 29,000, or they're up to 29,776. I got the Hang Seng at 25,390. Reporting earlier that the price of West Texas crude is under.
Ready?
It was under $80 a barrel when I looked at it this morning. Unfortunately, as things happen rather quickly in the markets, it is back up over $80 a barrel. It's $80.90 for a barrel of West Texas crude right now. Don't have a new number on tap us, but something must happen in the last couple of days, Jerry Roberts, because they dropped the price of gasoline
by 9 cents.
It's now $4. It's $5 a gallon essentially. $4.98.9, $4.99 a gallon.
So they dropped it a dime.
Yeah. So that's where we are on all of that stuff. I'm looking to see if I can get an updated number from those guys, but don't know where I can find something like that right about now.
There was, I mentioned glacier water. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there. When I was back there, I was drinking something that had the name Canada in there. It had glacier in there. I'm trying to think what it was.
What did it actually have glacier water? Was it marketing?
I don't think there's any glaciers in Canada, but they sure charge more for it.
Yeah, why not?
I remember that. Yeah.
Why not? What is it? There's all kinds of other things which you pay a pretty hefty upgrade because it springs or it came from Fiji or it came from whatever, and then you go and find out water basically came out of a hose. It might have been filtered to take out whatever the GWA impurities are, but at the end of the day, it's just regular, plain old water. 7:28 in the morning. Real Joe, what'd you find out about the Corona?
Corona is brewed in Mexico.
It is,
but it's owned by a Belgian company.
How about that?
Yeah.
Belgians do good beer. So it's a Belgian beer brewed in Mexico. So it's not a Mexican beer.
I guess.
Is that fair to say?
I'm sure Jose works at that factory.
We'll need to test. We'll need to conduct some kind of testing here. It's 7:28 in the morning. Jerry Roberts has got the extra point.
So educational.
I know. You know what?
Unbelievable.
I got to kill 4 hours. What do you think?
No.
What?
I think people that listen to this program ought to get a certificate of some kind or some kind of degree after a while.
I think you can get a degree from listening to this program. Bill Cruz is making reference to Hiker's Pete. Not entirely sure what that is. Bertha Mazza Cruz saying something about Eagle Pass. Colin Clark said, I hope they're not using Mexican water. Tell you what, there's no mana here that we've got to hurry things into, so I'm going to let you take your time on the extra point. There is the Work Zone today, and an interesting title for the Work Zone, also interesting because it will stretch over 2 weeks. Today, it's Dysfunction in Your Teams, Part 1.
It'll stretch over more than 2.
Yeah. Oh, will it?
Yeah,
there's more than
several parts.
Okay, multiple parts for this. Get started by keeping track of it in today's Guam Daily Post. Now, without any further delay, Jerry Robertson, today's Extra Point, being brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and Ed Untalon's First Hawaiian Bank.
Yes, Yes, sir. Do you ever roll your eyes when talking with somebody? Why do you do that? With a message? What message are you intending with that gesture when you roll your eyes? And do you think that message is received accurately? Let's find out next on The Extra Point.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
A homeowner's policy protects much more than just your house. It also protects you against claims from someone being hurt on your property. If a visitor is injured at your place, how much are you covered for? The smart thing to do is get the answer today.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
Raise your glasses for a toast because First Hawaiian Bank now turns your meals into a reason to celebrate. Every dollar you spend on dining purchases, including fast food, earns you up to 3 times United miles. Simply use your First Hawaiian Bank United credit card and start reaping the most rewarding credit card experience on island. Terms and restrictions apply. Don't have a First Hawaiian Bank credit card? Visit any branch or FHB.com to apply today. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.
So, Joe, you ever rolled your eyes at somebody?
Every day.
Every day you
Multiple
do that.
times,
Ray,
sir.
you ever roll your eyes at anybody?
I roll my eyes when I talk.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
I can't believe I said that. Jeez.
Well, rolling your eyes at another person is nonverbal communication, something most people consider to be a display of annoyance, dislike, and disrespect. Bottom line, it's rude. Some people see it as a sign of immaturity. However, none of this applies to how eye-rolling was once seen. As near as 50 years ago, eye-rolling was seen by many as a method of flirting and a way to express desire for somebody. This is found in literature, music, and film, and it dates back as far as the time of William Shakespeare, who contributed to the arts over 500 years ago. In our society, it is taken by many as an insult, and not a mild one. Rolling eyes indicates a lack of respect. Two people can see a disagreement spill over into a heated argument and still maintain their respect for each other. However, if one party rolls his or her eyes at the other as a response to a point made, the conversation can break down or turn personal and ugly. This is a frequent contributor to a breakdown in personal relationships. Two people are barking at each other over something. One rolls his eyes, and that raises the problem to a higher level. We often do it out of frustration or the inability to effectively communicate how we feel. That said, sometimes it's intentional, and we do so with the full knowledge that it will inflame the other person. I was working as a manager in the late 1980s when the CEO of the company broke an agreement with a client and instructed me to deny he had done so. He wanted me to lie, even though the client had absolute proof and had presented it to me. I declined, and it set my termination in motion. He called me in, criticized me, told me why I was being fired, and I sat in silence for most of it. I argued a couple of points, saying none of it was necessary had the original agreement been upheld. He said I should have followed his orders, and then he made a condescending remark, and I rolled my eyes at him, and he called me on it. Frankly, I was feeling an intense dislike for the man at that moment and didn't care if he was upset because I rolled my eyes. However, looking back, I wish I would have controlled myself and just listened, smiled at him, shook his hand, and then walked out the door without a word. That would have sent a stronger message. There's another factor that we should consider. Psychologists advise that the act of rolling eyes is an indicator that a relationship may be in trouble. It ranks high on the scale of contempt, along with name-calling and mocking. These acts are not received well and can be painful, if not shocking. Once done, you can't say anything that will erase the memory of it, but here's a starting point. I owe you an apology. I don't agree with what you said, but I was wrong to show it in that way. I respect you too much for that. Well, hopefully that will lead to a discussion where both parties can express their frustrations and how they hope the situation can be resolved. Once each understands how the other feels, the path to an agreement has been laid. It may take a while to get there, but don't give up. So many of us roll our eyes, and we do it without knowing the impact it has on the other person. Yet, we know we don't like it when we're on the receiving end. If we are the victim of an eye rolling and the other person apologizes, here's another tip we should remember. Show immediate forgiveness. Maybe like, thanks for saying that. I appreciate it. Look, I've done it too. Why don't we sit down over a cup of coffee and work it out? Let me know if this is helpful. And don't you roll your eyes at me. That's the Extra Point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
I got you, Jerry. 7:35 in the morning, and while you were doing the Extra Point, I was able to find a couple of things that I thought might be of interest graphically to the listeners and the viewers on Facebook Live and YouTube. There is an eye roll emoji. I don't know how many people are aware of this, but if somebody sends you something on your WhatsApp or your tweeters or whatever, and you disagree, or you think it's the most absurd thing that you've ever heard, you can actually send them your eye roll. And then before that, there was another meme that is very, very popular on the internet, and we've seen it in so many different places. Robert Downey Jr. Has got a famous eye-rolling meme, and you can see what he's doing and the look on his face, and that's exactly, I think, what you were talking about when your boss tried to get you to get him out of some hot water. It is.
I probably look just like that.
Well, you know what? I've often mistaken you for Robert Downey Jr. I've always said, hey, there's Robert Downey Jr. Somebody, no, that's just JQ4E. I said, oh, I got you. So you're not the Iron Man.
No, I wasn't the Iron Man.
How about that? So Jerry Roberts and I pondering now the possibility that somebody might do an investigative piece here, and it would be worth doing it here on Guam. I go into a grocery store, one kind or another, and take pictures of items in the grocery stores, in different places in the stores, with things that you generally pay more for because they're from an exotic place, or they're made with these super duper, oh my God, ingredients that you can't find in anything else.
I'm beginning to get a Troy Torres feeling.
Well, I'm definitely too lazy to do it, but I think somebody ought to go out there and just take a look at it. Go, and the next time you see King's Hawaiian Bread, looking for that premium King's Hawaiian bread experience versus another kind of bread, the exact same kind of bread in the store, because they're just dinner rolls at the end of the day, right? Isn't that all the King's Hawaiian bread is? It's just dinner rolls.
Torrance dinner rolls.
They're out of Torrance, California.
They make great sliders, Ray.
You and I, well, yeah, so does. I'm trying to remember where the last time I got some good pan de sal, right?
Oh,
you can do all of that stuff. You know, there's and they're made locally. They're made by our own bakeries here on Guam. So the answer to the question, what I'm trying to get here, is I will no longer spend up for that kind of thing just because of the fancy labeling on the product. It's just like any other bread that you can get from Torrance, California, or any of the other imported breads that we get from the States. Which would you rather have? That American Bakery? Maybe Elite Bakery? Oh, my God, a sandwich made out of Elite Bakery bread. Is that not among the best?
Yes.
There's something about that. Although I will give the guys over at Payless on Route 8, we'll give them a little bit of credit because they make their own breads there. Did you know that?
Oh, wow.
And the one that I get all the time, even though, as far as I know, there's no Japanese people back there. They have a Japanese bread.
Wow.
So I urge you, but it's made locally. It doesn't say anything about using Japanese spring water or anything like that in the construction, but still, and all I know there's rolling eyes going on here.
Or Canadian Asahi.
7:38 in the morning, Canadian Asahi beer. There's something about that. We'll check out some of the responses on Facebook Live in just a little bit. Quick look at what's happening in headlines here, real quick. Brought to you by the guys over at Burger King, asking you to try the Ghost Pepper Chicken Nuggets. I'll tell you what. This is Ray Gibson challenge, right? Go and try the Ghost Pepper Chicken Nuggets. Bring them here at a prearranged date and time, and let's see if you can handle their Ghost Pepper Chicken Nuggets with the pica, the 2 pica sauce that I got from Keena's in-laws in Vegas, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Really, it's
Chamorro stuff made in Vegas.
I want to say, yeah, it's Chamorro. Chamorro hot sauce made in Vegas, but it was made by Chamorro, so it counts. Anyways, to try that out, fire grilled Whopper sandwiches and plenty more over at BK Today, 7:30 News. Also brought to you by Lolita Kamet with Half-A-Day Realty. For all of your real estate needs, you can count on Auntie Loli. Call her at Half-A-Day Realty. She's at 688-6743. That's not a new number, by the way. You've had that number for a while now. 7:30 News finally brought to you by Top End Pest Control for all of your varmint needs. Don't have a cat, don't have a dog? Call Ken and Karen, and they'll take care of the bugs. 487-5657. Now with headlines, it's me. About 9 o'clock this morning, the guys from GWA are going to be closing off sections of roadways all over the island. Before noon, you can expect the roads to be closed in Harmon Loop Road between 9 and 9:30. Following that, down in Tumon, Palisambatores East at 10. At 10:30, they'll move over to Palisambatores West. And then I got another crew that's going to be strolling down by Agate, Route 2 by the Bay Dollar Store at 11:30 until noon. There will be more going on in Agana, over by the Agana Pool, and Tamuning for a little bit later on. So expect some delays in some of these areas. They're going to be inspecting sewer manholes to see if there's anything going on. And I'll tell you what, the one that I don't see on this is Tamuning in front of Bank Pacific. There's a manhole cover. Apparently there were two of them at one time, one sandwiched on the other, so it was the road was even. And then somebody took one of them, and now there's a little bit of a divot into the place. The magistrate report, very interesting. Yesterday, Officer Leon Guerrero met with a couple of members of the Guam Fire Department, Medic 5, two individuals, Darren and Wayne, recognized as peace officers. The report from them indicates that those two victims responded to the scene of a traffic collision Sunday on Route 1 near the Polaris Point. The report indicates that Jose Uggan, one of the individuals involved in the traffic collision, sustained injuries in the collision. The report indicates that the medics stated that Uggan was conscious but not verbal when they first arrived at the scene. The report further states they placed a C-spine collar on his neck and he was placed on a backboard. However, while he was being placed into the ambulance, the defendant came to, kicked Torres in the groin, and slapped Matanani in the face with both hands. The medic personnel were able to restrain the defendant, but during transportation, he came to again and managed to kick victim number 2 in the groin again and hit victim 1 in the face. A report indicates the defendant was interviewed. He told officers he was unconscious, and when he regained consciousness, he thought he was under attack. He says as soon as he recognized he was being assisted by medics, he became compliant, but then blacked out again. The report indicates it's believed the defendant was under the influence of alcohol. It doesn't say anything about whether or not the guy was tested at GMH. An investigation will ensue, and Jose Uggan is now under administrative leave in the Guam Police Department. $500 debit cards could be coming soon if Republican senators at the legislature have their way. Early in the year, Senator Jimmy Moylan and Chris Duenas and Tony Ada introduced the Para y Publico Act of 2021. Legislation was parts of the Let's Get Guam Moving Economic Recovery Initiative. The objective is to infuse the economy by providing qualified island residents with a $500 debit card. The idea here is that while we're not seeing a whole lot of tourists out here, maybe if you had some free money sitting around in your pocket, you'd go out there and spend it in a variety of places. While the PIP program may not solve all the island's economic woes, Jimmy Craig Moylan said it would provide for a much-needed infusion into local spending, which has a spiraling effect that would create new jobs, increase the tax base, and support Guam's businesses. We'll watch and see what happens with it. A little bit of time with Jimmy Craig coming up a little bit later on. And keep an eye on your front yard, your backyard, your side yard. The Saki Milanias are out there being dubbed street walkers by some in the community, and some that are sharing videos of these fellas on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and WhatsApps. Villagers all over the island being treated to scenes of people walking into their garages and walking out with somebody else's stuff. Cops are busy enough as it is, and mayors are suggesting that if you can, join up in some kind of neighborhood watch program on WhatsApp, and keep an eye on your place and keep an eye on a neighbor's place. If you see something happening, put it up on the WhatsApp group, then call the police. It's 7:43 in the morning. There's some headlines here on The Point.
Fall in love with your new home this season by shopping Furniture Kathy Style's unbelievable deals. We've brought in new items and restocked on our best sellers to help you get your home ready for the holiday. We offer free design consultation and financing with up to 12 months of zero interest for you to get what you want and what you need for your home today. Follow us on social media, visit our website at FurnitureKathyStyle.com, or call us at 300-9590 for more information. If you're not buying from us, you're paying too much.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer staycation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance. Agana 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo at 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Dude, I was just thinking about maybe we ought to do a thing. Maybe we'll find a GIF.
Yeah?
That I might be able to put like an eye roll GIF.
Oh, yeah. You can do that, man.
I got a note from a doctor friend of mine. It says, "Can I nominate you to be a volunteer GMH board member because Sharon might be leaving soon?" And that's his read on some of the stories. Some of the stories that we're talking about, because she's got to defend the idea that the folks over at GMH need some kind of a public information officer, which they probably do, but that's not what they're asking for. The job description that they're putting out here is for a above step recruitment for hospital marketing and communications director, and they want to go from PG, I don't know, government of Guamese here, $60,482 to step 10, $83,029 for somebody to do marketing at Guam Memorial Hospital. This is not the car place. This is not, the telecom. This is not, it's not even a clinic. It's a public hospital for Guam. And it's the only public hospital that we've got here. So what do they need somebody to do marketing for?
Digital marketing, yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's. I'm sure that's what's going to be.
St. Luke's, man. They're going to
hire a marketing manager, and the marketing manager say, "Well, I'm only good at print. We're going to need somebody that's got some specific video expertise. Somebody that made. Somebody that really good at TikTok can be our video marketing director for Guam Memorial Hospital." And we'll find somebody that is a social media influencer, right? And they can be in charge of our social media marketing arm at Guam Memorial Hospital. We need to have somebody in charge of marketing to the deadbeats that don't pay us for the services that they receive at Guam Memorial Hospital. Walk out on $50,000 bills without asking questions about how we're going to be paying that. I think that would be a good place to put somebody in marketing. Or you're in marketing, paint the building. How about that? Can we get a new coat of paint on something around here? Imagine how many more people we'd be able to attract to Guam Memorial Hospital if you know what? Let's change the name from GMH and have people go like, stop calling it Get Murdered Here.
Oh wow!
Or that would be Ray Gibson. I'll give this one to you for free. You don't have to give me $85,000. Stop saying "Get me to Hawaii." That's not what GMH stands for. And then we'll do some of that pensive piano music that builds into something that's a little bit more uplifting. We'll have slow motion videos of medical professionals walking in with their gowns and their hats and their masks on. Slow walk,
little kids,
slow walking. Like in the movies,
yeah.
right? Slow walking down the halls.
Like Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking. And yeah, let's give them guns. Yeah. It's just like the movie. Sorry, 7:47 in the morning. What was I supposed to do? It was supposed to tell me I got to do something for a clinic.
Not Subway.
Subway?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second. I was looking at it a second ago because I'm wondering if I've got to change a copy. Stand by. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. The Subway's Eat Fresh Refresh rolls out the protein-packed Footlong Pro. It's a delicious way to pack on the protein. Footlong Pro gives you double the meat for twice the protein. That's why they call it Go Pro at Subway. Eat fresh. Yeah, I got to do everything here. I got to do the news. I got to do the traffic. I got to do the headlines. I got to do the traffic. All right. So what have we got here at 7:48 in the morning? Is there something that you need to worry about? Looks like ugly traffic even before you get to Pow Pow. Meeting up with no traffic at Waisangsong. Don't know exactly what's going on there. Intersection of 1 and 3 running ugly this morning. Lots of traffic backing up over by Guam Regional Medical City. Now they get marketing. They got marketing people over there because they're a private sector business. They ought to have some of that there. Looking at some of the other traffic. I'll get this up on the screen for you. Look at how bad that is up in Datado, guys. Right? And it's almost, at the foothills of Jigo where the traffic begins to get ugly. We got some traffic on Machechi, meeting up with traffic on Marine Corps Drive. It's ugly out there. 8, 10, and 16, ugly. 10 and 15, ugly. Even before you get to the church, it's going to start running ugly. And Route 8 would be uglier, except everybody suck on Harvest Car Line here. Let me see. Looking at a little bit more traffic on Route 4, it isn't great either. I'm wondering if there's fender benders, accidents, and things like that. Also, watching out for a little bit of traffic over NBG. That's Naval Base Guam in Sumai. 10 away from 7. I'll be right back.
Top End Pest Control is who you call for all your pest control needs. Got a problem with roaches, ants, spiders, rodents, fleas, ticks, termites? No problem. They do it all. Top End Pest Control is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and HubZone certified. Serving Guam since 2012. Call them today for a quote, 487-5657, or email topendpest@gmail.com. Check them out on Facebook at Top End Pest Control and give them a like. Top End Pest Control for all your pest control needs.
I got you. 7:50 in the morning portion of the program brought to you by the guys over at KFC. Why? Because the sandwich, it's there, and it's there for good, ladies and gentlemen. That KFC chicken sandwich, awesome. About once a week, I'm headed into that place because I like it so much. You will, too. They don't start putting it together until the words come out of your mouth at the drive-thru or the counter, and then somebody goes to work on it. They got a couple of pieces of bread that were baked right now. We're going to put some chicken on that. We're going to throw in some incredible sauces. They got the KFC mayo, and then they've got a spicy sauce that you might like as well, if you can handle the pika over at KFC. Get it to go, 300 FAST. 10 away from the top of the hour. Hi, Ray, until it's not supposed to be anymore. A couple of things that are of interest around here that we're looking at. The story, front page of today's Pacific Daily News, and I want to thank Boris for pointing this out to me because I was busy rolling my eyes and I missed this part of the story. It says 2 new deaths, 2 reclassified. Joe Taitino writes, 2 more people have died from COVID-19, and 2 previously reported cases have been reclassified as not being related to the virus. Meanwhile, and it doesn't look like they go anywhere with this, and if they did, I haven't seen it in the story. Meanwhile, the former chair of the Governor's Physicians Advisory Group is saying that people who got their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine before April should no longer be considered fully vaccinated. You getting that? So you got your card, and then if you got your shots before April, there might be a best if used by date on your COVID-19 vaccination. This is the redefinition now. This is the redefinition. Hi, my name is Ray. I haven't even got my first and second shots. I am happily unvaccinated at this time. And if I was one of those guys that stood in those lines and thought that my problems were over, that I was safe, now we're hearing from Dr. Howard Ewan that no, that's not the case, and if you got your shots prior to this date, then they've expired. Go and get yourself some new ones. Didn't it make you wonder when you got your card and you saw the extra spaces what all of that was for? 7:52 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. Erica Cruz, who is the Deputy Superintendent of the Department of Education. I hope I'm getting the name right. Erica, we talk so infrequently. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right position. Buenos din, half a day.
Hi, and great commercial, Ray, because Frank Cruz is my husband, so it was a good segue to my interview.
Dude, he's the best. Tell him I said thanks very much for turning me on to those egg tarts over at KFC. It's a family affair. Now the last time that he and I were talking about you were involved in some kind of incredible exercise program. Tell me about your journey.
My incredible exercise program. Well, I used to be a long distance runner. We were the Coco running group, and that was we're the Hilton group, and you guys were the PIC group. So
yes.
Yeah. So no, I joined I joined a group called the Tribe, and that's with Jason. I forgot Jason's last name, and he's going to kill me. But yeah, I go every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the Harmon Sports Complex at 5 in the morning. So that's kind of different because I'm not really a gym person. I'm more a runner. I prefer to just go out and run and.
Well, I think you sweat it out a little bit more. I think you sweat it out a little bit more at some of these other get-togethers as opposed to some of the gyms. And I have not yet done any of that stuff, but I keep toying with the idea of doing it. They don't fall in line with my beer drinking schedule. So I'm just being honest, right? Just gotta keep it real. But anyway, at any rate, one of these days I'm going to find one of those things, and they look like fun because number one, there's lots of girls in yoga pants, and number two, it looks like everybody is getting their sweat on, and that really does make a difference, especially if you like your KFC chicken sandwich as much as I do. At any rate, 7:55. Erica's on the line. She's with the Department of Education. A couple of notes here. You got a job fair coming up on Saturday at Ukadu, right?
That's correct, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, and a variety of positions that you're looking for. But then the other one, and I'm glad that you're doing that because it looks like the thinking now is lined up with getting the kids, at least the high school kids, back to work in 5-day-a-week, no cohort classes starting December.
That's correct. So December 1st is the plan to bring the high school students back 5 days a week, and then our middle schoolers and our elementary schools after Christmas break, which is in January 3rd, I believe.
Yeah. Now, will there be choices for these kids and these parents? I think there might still be some parents that are squeamish about sending their kids outside the house.
Oh, so you're talking about remote learning? And
yeah.
so
Are we doing a hybrid? Will there be will it be 100% face to face, or will there be the kids in the classroom and then the rest of them online?
Well, we do have that. We've always had that option of either face to face or remote learning, and so we do have our regional remote learning program, and so we're not phasing that out. We do have students that are on the waiting list, and we are trying to accommodate as many families as possible by the beginning of next semester.
Okay, so there are going to be options for parents. There's the only thing that we're adding now is we're eliminating that cohort system that I never liked. Now, do you have to get somebody's permission for this? Do you got to wait out until the governor comes back, or find somebody over at the Department of Public Health and Social Services to cross more I's or cross more T's and dot more I's on your recovery plan?
Well, no. We have a mitigation plan which covers students, 100% of our students, or the non-cohort or the 5 days a week of schooling. We do have a reentry plan that addressed that. So if you recall, when we started our school year, it was 5 days a week, and then there was a pause for 3 weeks. Due to the governor's executive order, and then we went into this cohort situation. However, because of the CAR score going much lower and the ability or availability of the vaccination for students that are now 5 years and above, that is another mitigation factor that parents can consider as we go back to the 5 days of schooling.
So it will feel somewhat like a normalcy, if you will. So we got students going back into the classrooms in the high school. We'll look at the middle schools and the elementary systems and bring those kids back in at the same time. Now, I do got to you take me down that history lesson to when they shut down the schools for the 3 weeks. I knew that there was going to be a semi-permanent change, and my recollection done so without a whole lot of consultation with the Ed Board, with John Fernandez over at the Department of Education. Certainly, we have not seen a massive surge in the number of students and staff at the Department of Education getting sick, and we're not seeing spread inside the schools either. So I was,
never been, right?
yeah. So I always thought that was an overreach on the science.
Right. Yeah. But when we did our, we do have contact tracing protocols, and the the protocols that we followed relative to the contact tracing, the spread was not in the school. It was actually out from the community, getting it from family members and whatnot. And so the spread was definitely not at the school level.
Well, I thought that was interesting for no other reason. It took the kids out of the school where I thought that they were relatively safe with all of the different mitigations you had going on, and putting them back into their homes for longer hours to be with people that might have been bringing in COVID-19 from out in the community. I thought that was a bad move there. Also, the idea that there's so many things that the kids have been missing these days, so much of the socialization that needs to go on, face-to-face learning. I think for a lot of kids in a lot of age groups is frankly the only way to get it done. So I'm absolutely delighted that you guys are moving off in that direction. Now I will say, among the concerns that I have is what about all of the other extracurricular activities? About 45 seconds left. We've still got a certain separation now between vaccinated and unvaccinated students. There are privileges for vaccinated students that unvaccinated students don't have access to. When do you suppose you might see a time where some of those restrictions are lifted for our young people?
Well, we don't have any certain restrictions as far as interscholastic sports, if that's what you're talking about. Students are still able to participate in interscholastic sports. Obviously, they do have to do a testing swab, at least if I'm not mistaken, once a week. But they are still able to participate in interscholastic sports.
Well, but there's understanding there's some parents, as there are teachers and staff at the schools, that aren't comfortable with the vaccination or the testing being done on a regular basis, and maybe not around them. So we might agree to disagree on that point. But because I do know that there were a number of parents that were initially put out with word that the kids would have to be vaccinated if they wanted to play soccer or take a test weekly, and they weren't comfortable doing that.
Yeah, and so this is something that we have to follow under our public health guidance. And so to get our students to play, we had to develop a mitigation plan, or as far as addressing the pandemic and kids catching COVID. And so, as far as teachers or employees who don't want to get vaccinated, we're following the executive order requiring employees to be vaccinated or tested once a week, as well as students. That's part of the mitigation plan that we had submitted to public health so that our students can play.
Has anybody started talking about the possibility, Erica, of a mandate now that the vaccines are available for students between 5 and 11? Is there anybody twitching over at the Department of Education now saying, well, maybe we need to do the same thing for these kids?
From the department.
Not from the department.
Not from the Department of Education. We've not talked about mandating vaccination for the students, and so at this point that's not a discussion, and it's not on the table at this point.
That doesn't mean that it won't be. So keep an ear out for that, and let me know. Drop me a line if you hear something like that, so I can get all outraged on the radio. The only thing that will calm me down is tell Frank it's chicken pot pie, chicken strips, and then do KFC chicken sandwich and egg tarts.
You got it.
All right.
And today for you.
Cousin Troy says, say hello to my tribe sister.
Oh, I love him. I love him.
All right. Well, he can hear you. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Erica. You have a great day. Just after 8 o'clock in the morning, Fox News Live playing here on The Point.
Don't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day. Featuring insight from top newsmakers, reporters, and Fox News contributors. Listen and subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
Do you have a pain or loss of function in your hand or upper extremity? Then have Dr. Jerome Landstrom, a board-certified hand surgeon and combat veteran with over 25 years in experience in diagnosing and treating upper extremity and hand problems. He'll provide care to you and your loved ones so you and your loved ones can take care of yourselves and others. Call 671-646-HAND for an appointment and visit his website at www.pacifichandsurgery.com.
Washington State blames drug distributors for fueling the opioid crisis in a multi-billion-dollar trial.
Washington State's Attorney General Bob Ferguson called the opioid epidemic the worst man-made public health crisis. He put blame on large shipments of the dangerous drugs by distributors in a $95 billion trial in King County. He alleges the companies shipped nearly 4 billion doses into the state over a 12-year period. The companies, McKesson Corporation and AmerisourceBergen Corporation among them, deny any wrongdoing. The state seeks billions in penalties and profits it says should be forfeited, as well as more than $38 billion to fund treatment programs. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The U.S. and Britain are slamming Russia for an anti-satellite weapons test blamed for posing a danger to the crew of the International Space Station by creating hundreds of pieces of new space junk, apparently what's left of an old Russian satellite destroyed by the missile test. The U.S. and India have conducted similar tests in the past, but at a lower orbit, well below the space station. The State Department calls Russia's test dangerous, reckless, and irresponsible. A 70s supergroup hits new heights.
People still love their ABBA as the pop legends earn their highest charting album ever on the Billboard Top 200. The new album, called Voyage, debuting at number 2. Previously, ABBA's highest debut was 1978's The Album, which peaked at 14. Voyage is the first time the group has gone back together since 1982. They will also be doing a digital show beginning in May of next year at the ABBA Arena in London, where digital versions of the band will be backed by a live 10-piece band.
Fox's Mike Gunzelman. Stocks finish slightly lower. The Dow slips about 12 points. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Hafaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Hafaday, konnichiwa, patois, ciao. Enter for a chance to win the 76 Circle K World Cuisine Giveaway. Be one of 3 lucky winners to win a passport of free food from around the world at over 15 different local restaurants. Just stop by any 76 Circle K, purchase $35 or more in fuel to get an entry form. Drive by today and taste the world with 76 Circle K's World Cuisine Giveaway. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more details. Some conditions apply. Circle K, take it easy.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Oh. I got a new news. They're just going to get worse and worse. We might as well just read a couple of stories, sort of a break, read a couple more stories, and then throw to a break. We'll get a little bit more information on this in just a little bit. But the mayors are trying to get things going at the mayor's offices, especially with regard to working with some of the senior citizens. They're looking at reopening senior centers island-wide in 2022. When in 2022? Well, we're not really sure about all of that. Some of the same mitigations that they were talking at Erica Cruz and I were talking about in the last hour, doing over at the schools, they have to put in place over at the Senior Citizen Center. Plexiglass guards, and they've got to get air filtration systems now to meet federal requirements. But these have yet to be installed. And in fact, many of these Senior Citizen Centers have been doing other duties since COVID-19 started. So it's going to be kind of tricky to get things going anytime soon. soon. They are still providing food assistance to seniors. Senior citizen centers closed since March of 20. The elderly do continue to receive free weekday meals distributed by mayoral staff in the villages. President Jess Allig, mayor of Apiti, said the volume of senior citizens needing food assistance increased by more than 50% during the pandemic. Moreover, one of the senior centers in Manila has been converted into a temporary COVID-19 monoclonal antibody treatment center soon. So they're going to have to try to figure out how to get all of these centers on the same page and then reopen them simultaneously if Mayor Hoffman has his way. He'd like them to all open at once. There's top story number one. Top story number two, your gas is lower. If you were thinking, oh, it's going to cost me $5.25 to put gasoline in the car this morning, that changed late yesterday afternoon. Virtually all of the gas stations, as we do simultaneously around here, adjusted their prices down $4.98.9 a gallon, or about $5 a gallon, but it's still got a 4 in front of it. Maybe that makes you feel good. Other big story that we're following around here this morning comes from Candid News. Congressman Mike Sinicolas says, we're definitely preparing. He spent the last couple of years as Guam's delegate in the U.S. House of Representatives resolving decades-old legacy issues, and he says, well, if we're going to run for governor, there's some things I'd like to focus on for the candidacy. Among the topics discussed were the easing of the tax burden, a radical idea to force the price of gas down, the development of homes to bring down the cost of housing, and investments into education and police services. Asked whether he would run as a Democrat, he said, yep. My grandfather, the late Speaker Franklin Kitagua, was a Democrat, and I will be a Democrat as well. It's 9 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll take a quick break, and while we do, you can take a look at the inside of James Howard's refrigerator.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars, like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, as low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore, as low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
Portions of the program here with some news and headlines. The Department of Education, you heard Erica Cruz, the superintendent, deputy superintendent, talking about them going back to 5-day-a-week education for high school students. An idea whose time has come. Frankly, I never thought it should have gone away, but I'm not the governor. At any rate, now they're looking at all of the different numbers that are coming to them. CAR scores going down, new COVID cases, especially among the kids, going down likewise. So they've decided that December will be a good time to get the students back into face-to-face learning. The option for distance learning or remote learning will also be available to them. As for elementary and middle school students, the plan is to bring them back to 5-day face-to-face instruction by January after the Christmas break. GDOE plans to discuss its plan to return to 5-day classroom instruction with stakeholders later in the week, but the ground is already being set for all of that to take place right now. And if you're wondering about employment in the Department of Education, there is going to be a job fair that will take place coming up this weekend up in Ukadu Saturday from 9 until 3. They'll be looking for school aides, on-call sub-teachers, community program aides, and other positions. If you want details, 475-0496, or go to the GDOE Human Resources Division. They've got a website where you can go and take a look and see if there's a position waiting for you at the Department of Education. I think that's enough of James Howard's refrigerator, and that might also be enough news for us here this morning. It's 8:11. Weather-wise, here's what we got for you. Real Joe and I just took a look at the weather outside. This is not going to be conducive at this time to grill marks. So you might have to get grilly inside if you know what I mean. Breezy conditions all day long, occasional showers, isolated thunderstorms, winds 20 to 25 miles an hour. I got cloudy skies, scattered showers, and isolated thunderstorms. Winds coming out of the east, but when I looked east, you know what I saw? I saw some blue in the sky. So it might be one of those things where the sun's desperately trying to come out. East winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Lows should be about 77. Same thing for tomorrow, although by tomorrow night, they're saying that we ought to have some partly cloudy skies rolling in here. Heat index today, 90 degrees. There's a 90% chance of rain and a 25% chance of love, according to Real Joe. Sunset tonight is going to be at 5:50. That's news and weather together. On to point.
Over the past 5 years, confidential data and network breaches have doubled for small and large businesses, resulting in huge financial loss. At GTA, our multi-threat security bundle is a cost-effective solution monitored by our team of experts, ready to detect known malware and stop new evolving cyber threats before entering your network.
Protect your business with confidence and call 671-644-1000 or visit gta.net/enterprise. GTA. We start with you.
Go green, go solar, and save big with Nambo Insurance. When you power up your home with solar panels, Nambo Insurance will pay up to $350 toward your power bill. With Nambo, you can enjoy great savings while going green and helping to save Guam's environment. At Nambo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Nambo.com or call 477-9754 for details. Nambo Insurance, proudly serving Guam for over 50 years.
8:13 portions of the program being brought to you by the guys over at APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also being brought to you by the team behind us. Literally, our team behind it. They got my 6 over at 11's. That makes sense? They got your 6 at 11's. Okay. Anyway, yeah, because they can back us up with great hot coffees, great cold drinks and teas that they've got there. They're known for pastries and sandwiches, and a decidedly interesting interior. You go in there, and everywhere your eye falls, you're going to be like, oh, that's nice. I want to take that home. Did you get that at Ross? Find out about the whole experience, and don't keep it to yourself either. Find out why they have been nominated for Pika's Best Coffee Shop on Guam at 11's.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
This is the most exciting day so far. You might be wondering, Ray, how come you're doing the news? Because Mana's not here. And you're going to go, but where's Mana? Well, you ask her. It's not my job. But it's an exciting day because for a lot of reasons. I'm looking at the thing, and so I can see where people are that listen to the program, the international worldwide listening audience. We've got a little dashboard, and there's all these little pins dropped in it, and it's just so cool to see all kinds of different places, like ham radio. It's like, hey, man, do you have anybody in Japan listening? Yes. Yeah, there's people in Japan that are listening to the broadcast right now. We're in the mainland United States. Do we have listeners in the mainland? Yes, we do. I got folks in, let me see, what state is that? Is that California? No, I'm sorry. Yes, well, I mean, they're there, but we've got folks up in Canada, Windsor, Ontario. As a matter of fact, I've got people in Miami. Remember that Will Smith song?
Yeah.
Papi. And one in Brandon, Florida. As in, let's go, Brandon. And if you've got the radio on, if you've got the stream playing in Brandon, Florida, first of all, half a day from Guam. And second of all, could you take a picture of your city limits? You know, in the front where it says, hey, welcome to Brandon. And because I'm curious, I know this is happening in other places in the United States where they're actually named Brandon. People have gone up there and made adjustments to the sign.
Oh, yeah.
One way or the other. You know, put in a let's go. Yes. Let's go, Brandon. Is there a sign in Brandon, Florida that says let's go, Brandon on it? And I'd like to see it. And you know what other stickers I want? I want to get those stickers where the next time you see something that's like super high price, it's a sticker of Joe Biden saying, I did that.
Yeah.
And then there's another one with Nancy Pelosi that says, and I helped, which is great. There's people are posting pictures of steaks. Of food that you can buy, and some of these things, it's like they're $100 for like 4 cuts of New York steak. Can you imagine paying $25 for just one of those things? Can you imagine having kids around that are leaving meat on the bone? Oh, you finish that. I want you suck the bone. I'm going to teach that kid how to eat the marrow, right? All of that stuff that I was always forced into as a kid. Now I'm a grown up and I got to pay for that crap. Oh, you're eating the whole thing. What is that? We're not letting any of that meat go. 8:17 in the morning. Portions of the program here. Well, I already told you who it brings you. Remind me a little bit later on. We got to talk about money. Are you a coupon clipper at all?
No.
Does
that work around here?
Yeah, you can take your coupons to Payless, right? No, Jess Alec on the phone, right?
Yeah, line 2.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Alec. Have you ever used coupons over at Payless?
No, I haven't. Not at all. But those Malik points now, I've been accumulating points. I just haven't used any of them.
You know what? I've been accumulating them as well, but probably not as fast as you because I don't eat raw meat.
Okay.
And I'm not eating. I'm sorry, not raw meat, red meat. You know, it's and so I don't accumulate my points as fast on chicken and pork as I would if I got like one tomahawk steak or some of that aged beef that they've got out there. But yeah, I did the same. You know what? Can I tell you what my favorite thing about that whole program is that you log in with your phone number. You don't need to point an app at something, and that I got to convince my friends over at Shell to do that because I love the Shell Points program, right? The Pacific Points, I love that, and you got to imagine, I drink like a case of beer a day, so I'm just rolling in points for that. But sometimes I forget, and it does face recognition, so I got to pull my mask down and get the recognition, then show it to the lady behind the counter. It would be so cool if all I had to do was punch in my phone number, and you're like. Wouldn't now? Can you do me a favor? Because I want to make you feel not messy for me, man. I'm not getting my points fast enough. If I give you my phone number, can you every once in a while punch in my phone number?
I'll try.
When you're at the pay list. Dude, let's do that. We'll just hang outside in old Mazuti clothes, right? And just say, here's my number. My login for Payless points. Sorry, 819. What a dude, you've been all over the media here and completely ignoring me. So how come I'm finding out last that you guys have chosen to think about opening up the senior centers sometime in 2022? And based on the write-up that I read a second ago, it sounds like this could be a real process. How many of these senior citizen centers do we have here on Guam?
12. We have 12 centers. You're not the last one, Ray. Don't say that. Yeah, we have 12. So we haven't. A new reopening date has not been set, and we'll be meeting with. I'll be meeting with the 12 centers soon. Today, actually, and hello.
I'm here. No, I'm listening. I'm paying attention. You're going to meet with them today and see if there's a consensus on how you want to get this going.
On the date, yeah. So because we've actually been waiting on all the equipment that needed to come in, so all the safety stuff that needs to be installed based on the guidelines from the grantor, and the HEPA filters as well. There was an issue with that, big issue with that.
Oh,
so
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then of course the senior meals. I mentioned many times about the meals. We've got an increased number of manamko that we service during COVID who do not actually participate in the centers, and so a part of the benefits to attending the center is actually receiving a congregate meal, and so that guideline was waived during COVID. And, especially still was in the pandemic, so we're trying to figure out how to accommodate those residents, those manamko who do not want to participate in the center, to continue to receive their meal. Because if we open, they will no longer be able to receive their meal because they would actually have to come to the center. So,
so you go drive through?
No, we talked about that, and so I just need to get the mayors to buy into it. For the 12 centers, we already saw Mayor McDonald pull out of delivering senior meals because of no money. Mm-hmm. So we're that's an issue,
Well, it sounds like the last time you and I had a conversation, it sounded like there is an issue with monies to be able to stand up all of these new obligations that it seems are being foisted on the mayors. If you take a look at the statute, the mayors really aren't in charge of as many things as people think they are in charge of. But every once in a while, somebody over at the governor's office or somebody over at the legislature says, "Well, okay, we're going to do this," and it'll be handled over at the mayor's office, and without even mentioning to you guys that they're sending that work over to you. Is that coming with money? No. Is it coming with personnel? No.
So, yep, that's it. And so, slowly I think everyone's just going to kind of give up on doing it and throwing it back to public health because it's public health responsibility in the end. And so that's kind of what happened in Agani Heights. And, I don't think public health is prepared to handle all 12 centers' meal deliveries. So we're just asking for the money.
Well, they want every bar and restaurant on Guam to be public health police and have vaccine bouncers at the front doors. They're asking. Imagine for all of the things that they're asking of the Department of Education. It's easy to make a mandate if you don't have to make an investment in the enforcement of that mandate.
Right. Well, that's true. And so, and that's what now. So what? My decision to actually want to discuss this is because we just have to open. We need to open for our Manamco, those that want to participate, those that want to do something. I mean, if we're going to continue to wait, what are we waiting for? There's nothing to wait for anymore. I mean, if we can operate within our means, then so be it. And we were of the opinion that we wanted everyone to open at the same time, and if everyone could not open, then we were not open. But I've changed that around, and I'm gonna leave that to the mayor's office. If the mayor's office wants to operate, then we should allow or permit that mayor's office to operate their center. And and if the others are not ready, then so be it.
Well, then here's the warning. Yeah, so this mayor's, this mayor will have things available for as many as seniors that will be able to be accommodated. Now we've got distance requirements. There's new equipment going to be going in there. There's going to be plexiglass. To whatever degree plexiglass actually does something, you got to deal with the installation of all of that stuff. Is it possible there might be some villages that have got enough senior citizen center to support maybe taking on some of the seniors from other villages? I mean, you're not asking for ID cards, are you?
No. So yes, for sure. That's what we're anticipating, is that some of the smaller centers are gonna, some of those smaller centers who are not ready to open, those participants will transfer over to the neighboring village, and we're anticipating that for sure.
Okay.
So we know that most of the centers are ready to go. There's probably one or two that still have some facility issues, and that really is, like I said, it'll just be dependent on the mayor. Because you have Sinahanya operating their bingo, you have Santa Rita doing their bingo as well, and so everybody wants to do it. I know Manila wants to open up, but they're using their center for the antibody treatment.
Right. Well, so we're going to have to figure out how to get those seniors from one place to the other. Is there a lot of interest from among the seniors? I know that the last year and a half or two has been really, really hard on them. They're the ones that have had to be fairly isolated in their own homes and in their own facilities. The only people that they see are their immediate caregivers, hard to see kids and grandkids and great-grands and the rest of their friends. I mean, is there a lot of pent-up anticipation from among the seniors in say, Petey as an example?
No, I'm not hearing that. I'm really not hearing that. I don't think I've received one call about any senior, just wanting to break down the door to get in. I do know the mayors talk about it because perhaps they've heard it on their end. I myself have not heard it. So the one thing, though, Ray, that I do
okay, so we're talking about 12 senior citizen centers, and maybe this has also, floated around in your head because you're a smart guy. Do we need all 12? I mean, can we do something regionally if we've got a large one that, up in Dededo, Jigo, Mangilao area that are big, well, never mind Mangilao, but Tumuni, that might be big enough to be able to take on everybody for that third of the island, then another large one in the central portions of the island, and then another large one down south, and just start it off like that. I mean, I recognize that people, want to be close to their senior centers, but if there's not as much of a demand, then why try to open all dozen of them at the same time?
And that, for sure, and that's what we're considering for the south. So the north, the Dededo and the Tumuni centers, the Jigo, those guys definitely have to have their own because they're full. They're the largest ones, but down south is where we're looking. We're already combined down in the south. Central and south, they're already combined, just like in PT. So Agane Heights actually takes PT and Hagatnya, I believe.
Okay, I hate to be the village rivalry guy, but is it possible that there's like Manumco and Maritzo that don't like the Manumco and Umatic? Like the teenagers? Is there some of that, huh?
I'm sure it is, but you know what? That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to combine, and and that's what we're going to propose. That's what I'm proposing to them this afternoon. So if that's what it is, then that's how we're gonna operate down in the South.
Gonna have to
But,
just be nice, Humby. I know you don't like them since the war, but no, no, because you know it's true. I'm not being facetious here. This is a real thing.
That's true. It's true. I know what you're saying. But going back to this, the opening, the adult daycare is really, I've really been wanting adult daycare to open first.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because that's those, they need the help the most because they're the ones that, the dementia house, the daycare, the adult daycare, that needs to open. So I know they're going to open first before the senior centers. And that's promising. That's
But I think where I think there's a lot of demand, especially from the children of these seniors that need to be able to go out and get jobs and things like that. 8:28 in the morning. Now I'm sure you guys aren't having a problem like this down in Petey because you cracked the whip. But what are you guys doing about what are the mayors doing in the conversations amongst yourselves with these? It just seems to me like there's a lot of people with no jobs and drug reliance issues that are roaming around all of our villages that are looking for something to saki. What are we going to do about these streetwalkers, bro?
Well, you're right. I mean, we haven't had a discussion with the mayor's side, but yeah, for us in PD, we've noticed that we're using those streetwalkers actually to help us with our kids at the basketball court and help us maintain the park, and we all operate differently. So I'm not sure how the others are handling it, but that's how I'm handling it.
So you're actually getting some of these guys and giving them actual responsibilities in the village?
Yeah. So they get to know people. So they can they get to meet other people. They get to meet employers.
Yeah.
And talk to them, right? Honestly, that's how I have, well, I don't want to say too much about it, but we use a lot of community service workers. And you get a lot of good feedback from these guys, and you actually might end up finding a good worker in one of these service workers. So you just kind of encourage them to help out. Of course, you have to buy them lunch, right, and a drink or two. But yeah, I mean,
I thought that there were mayors that didn't want to work with some of these guys that come to you from the service outlets and the courts because they were useless.
Yeah, they are. There are some, but.
You.
Dave. You. What do you want?
I hear you. I'd heard that story from years ago, and I'd say we got to get these guys. And if you're pinched by the cops for doing something, you don't want to go to jail. Fine, you got to go work at the mayor's office. And I've heard from some mayors saying, no. It doubles our work when we get these guys because number one, they don't do jack, and number two, the workers that we do have now have to supervise them, and they don't get anything done. So it's actually worse off for the mayor's office. Jess, it's always fun talking with you. I hope you and I get to have a couple of beers with some of our friends in the China cabinet before long.
Right, soon enough, I hope.
All right, then I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up with the chief.
Sounds good.
All right, amigo. You have a good day. 8:31 in the morning. That's comforting to hear that there's at least one village where you get people that are running into trouble and getting caught, and the court says, okay, guess what? Ihu, community service for you, boy. You have to go to the mayor, and are actually productive for a while. I played for you a video earlier. I'll get it back up on the screen. I'm not crazy about the streetwalker language that they're using here, only because it makes them sound more like prostitutes. I imagine that there might be some among these folks for whom that has become their solution. But about halfway through this vid, there's the car, white car, pulling up and moving just outside of camera range. So I think they knew exactly where the camera was. And you get these guys, and you'll remember in the beginning of the look, everybody's got a video camera in their garage phase. You'd get these guys that would float up there, and they'd pull their T-shirt up to their face, and they got their ball cap down, they got sunglasses on, rendering them virtually impossible to identify. That's not necessarily the case now with some of these new guys. You take a look at this fella here, and what's he got, a hat?
How's that, Ray? Yeah, it looks like a beanie. He didn't even temperature check. Or
right?
hand sanitize.
Just got a hat on. And that's all there is to it. You probably take this video and magnify it and enhance it with some enhancing devices. And he gets in there and says, "Hey, I want that speaker, bro, because pretty soon it's going to be me and Joe Guam." Joe Guam and Saka Melania. It'd be like Jesse and Ruby right there. And no doubt, he's probably already got that thing all fenced off and has managed to sell it for a few bucks, maybe just enough to buy himself another. Real Joe says it's a plate. I thought it was saucer, or what did I say it was?
You said it was pan.
Pan of
a dish. Way to go, man.
Of crystal methamphetamine, 8:33 in the morning. But we got to do something about this, guys. We absolutely got to do something about it. 671-888-8255. 888-TALK is the telephone number around here. You can send me your memes if you've got any. If you've got an interesting meme of a guy that's actually stealing something, I want to turn that into a game. I'll tell you what, I got Whoppers, man. I got Whoppers I can give away. Put the thing up on the screen. If you can tell me which of the items that the second Melania is going to walk out with, then you'll win the prize. You like the idea?
Yes.
Send me it. 797-8255 is the meme machine number. And we've got a number of memes that have already been sent to me. I got the picture of Pam Duval's ice box, and yes, that's what they're called. They're ice boxes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't heard that in a long time.
I'm from the old school. Me and Jimmy Craig, when we were kids, our parents and grandparents referred to them as ice boxes, right?
They did, and we had ice trays that you had to pull this metal lever to get your ice cubes from.
Why don't they make those anymore? Now they make them out of some kind of thing. I've got these things. They're the hardest plastic in the world. They're the same thing they make car bumpers out of or airplanes. Right. I'm not sure of, but it's one of those things. You put the ice in there, and then it freezes, and then it's impossible. You can't twist it. Well, maybe you can. I got these little girl arms, but, you try to twist the thing, and maybe one will pop out. But that old the old aluminum one that you pull the grappler on, that knocks all dozen of them out, and then you can empty it, fill it up again, and make more ice. But no. Now we're civilized people. We use plastic that will be with us for another 1,000 years. Anyway, 8:34 in the morning. Jimmy Craig Moreland, Senator Jim's on the line, and we'll start with the Publica thing. You're still trying to get the governor to free up those $500 a piece credit cards, right?
Well, I'm trying to get the governor to not hoard this money or the American Rescue Plan. It's been sitting there since March as well, or sooner, gaining some interest. That's all good to know. Spending it as she prefers to, when she wants to, but needing to get into the people's hand once again. PUA is done. What's next? We don't know because the governor's not telling us. We got the holidays coming up. We still got many people out of jobs. Let's stimulate the economy and using the $500 on a debit card that can only be used locally. Just for the purpose on Guam. It's just a one-time expense. If you're below a certain threshold, $75,000 for individual, $150,000 for joint filer, $500 to go and spend that. Asking the governor to consider at least $30 million.
Wait. Why did you means test that? It doesn't matter where you are in the strata. You have been affected one way or the other by the increase in prices, increase in taxes on goods. I think that ought not to be means tested. I think it ought to be considered a tax rebate.
Could as well. If we get a public hearing and the interest is there, we can amend it too. But first, we got to get it to be heard in our Congress building here too. And I did share these bills along with several others where the governor can use this money to help stimulate the economy, even building small businesses, even hiring back employees, even paying for utilities and rent too. But Hey,
do me a favor while I'm on the subject of being pissed off about things that Adelup does. There's this mandate thing, and I know people that are losing their jobs, because they don't want to get vaccinated and they don't want to have to deal with weekly tests. Can you do me a favor, and you and Chris Duenas, maybe Frank and Tony, and get together and write up some legislation that would allow for anybody that loses their job during a public health emergency because they are not doing the mandates, especially government of Guam employees, because there's always room to kiss their butts. But create a rule that says anybody loses their job because they don't want to deal with these mandates, as soon as the public health emergency ends, they will be reinstated.
Sure. I heard that announcement. What was it, Louisiana, with the new congressman elected?
Yeah, I think that's great. Well, he wants to do that certainly with members of the armed forces. I don't know that we could do that with the private sector, but it seems to me that that's certainly something that can be done for employees in the public sector. Look, there's a lot of people with that are standing on their freedom to choose whatever they want to that goes in their body for whatever reason. And if they don't want to get tested every week and they don't want to do the vaccine, then I don't see why they should be coerced into doing that. And if they are coerced into doing that and lose their jobs as a result, they ought to at least have some hope that they can return back to some of these positions.
Right. Yeah, you can't mandate this, even for private businesses as well, that have been, let's say, 50 years on our island, employing over hundreds of people and mandating them that, because now your employee who has been with the company since the start, who is not able to or does not wish to get the vaccination, must be fired just like that. How terrible is that, to mandate such a thing? Shove a needle into somebody's arm, shove a pill down somebody's throat. How is that worth our freedom? I agree with Dr. Nguyen when he's a great example when he's coming from as a refugee from Vietnam and stayed here, got educated, joined the armed forces, came back to Guam, served our military, and now serving our island with the public health needs, and served the government of Guam by advising during the pandemic. But he did the right thing. I agree with him for stepping down and not being wanting to serve under that type of leadership, because it's just wrong. You just why?
Well, you heard every conversation I've had with the Department of Education where it comes down to what's going on in the schools and the shutdown of the schools and going back to remote learning, and then now we're in this cohort A, cohort B thing, and now they're finally starting to talk about getting the kids back in school with under the oversight, I suppose, of people over at the Department of Public Health and Social Services. They were never consulted when they decided to shut down the schools, even though all of the data apparently shows that the kids weren't spreading COVID-19 among themselves. If somebody got COVID-19, that was from community spread outside of the schools. Right. But no, we had to shut the schools down and throw parents into a tizzy. And we've now jeopardized the law that says that we've got to give these kids 180 days of instruction. We're not going to be able to do that. And our kids are in competition with other children, i.e. the DODEA students and students from across the nation in states where they did not force the kids out of school. What's it going to be like when we start comparing SAT scores? What's it going to be like when we start comparing ASVAB scores, et cetera?
I think it's going to be really hard on the instructors. I think it's going to be really hard on GDOE, and it's going to be really hard on the parents and especially the students to try to catch up. There'll be some that will not be able to, maybe have to be retained. And that's another situation for the schools to handle. Fortunately, with the federal money available, maybe we can address this. But that's another form of the leadership that we see, from blocking roads on Marine Drive, just to give you a little speech to say, maybe you should not be on the road today.
Oh, good Lord.
But it's the same kind of thinking that this administration has, to putting out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday to say there's no school Monday for the next 2 weeks. Where am I going to get my babysitter? Because I'm a single parent, and what am I going to do? Bring my kids to school today? Or work today? It's that kind of reasoning, right? That we have millions of dollars in the bank, sitting there and not being shared with the people of Guam. It's just tremendous, right? And now we got the Biden just signed it into law, and I thank you for the governor for giving us that update, and that you're over there to witness such a terrific event. That's great. But tell us how you're going to use this money for the people of Guam, right? As well, tell us if you're going to start using what you're controlling there and not sharing with the people of Guam. And I'm hoping that here's one of these bills that can possibly help to get the businesses started by putting money into people's hands so they can come and buy necessities or something nice.
Yeah, well, unless the only people that they're going to worry about is vaccinated GovGuam employees. I think that's the win for this government here, and certainly this Adelup. Good news on Candidate yesterday. It looks like our buddy Congressman Mike Sinicolas is taking a look at more of these deep-seated and legacy issues that we have here on Guam, and maybe going to be taking a crack at him as governor of Guam in the upcoming election. But the question, hypothetical question. is if Congressman Mike St. Nicholas is running for governor of Guam, who will run for Congress? Who will represent the interests of the people of Guam in Washington, D.C. as our representative in the House? Jimmy, any thoughts?
I would strongly consider that position, Ray. Right now, I'm your senator, a two-time senator. I've learned a lot. And if that position is available, I would strongly consider that position a position to run for in this next upcoming term. So
Well, it's about time I got something like an answer on that. Gee, Burrs, I've asked on the air, off the air. What's it going to be? Because it's I don't want to be the last guy in the media that goes, "Oh, really? Jimmy's running for Congress?" Didn't mention it to me. No, he went by the legislature, picked up some packets. I thought it was a package just for senator. All right, so the conversation is moving a little bit faster with regards to Representative Congressman James Craig Moylan.
There is a conversation. Our team is looking at these different options. We want to continue on with what Mike St. Nicholas, or Congressman Mike St. Nicholas, has been doing. We have a good relationship with him, and the transition needs to be there. And I want to do my best for the people of Guam as well, and I feel I can do that one step forward by being a representative in D.C. to represent our island and our territory. I'm not going to give up the fight. We'll see what God has in store. And if it's in the legislature, then there it shall be. If this door opens for congressmen, I'll be more than happy to represent the people of Guam if they so feel.
Now, the big question is, how is this going to impact Moylan's? Because obviously it would take you to Washington, D.C., and we probably have to send Bobby Shringy to keep track of you.
Well, the communication lines will be open as easily as they are right now. I have no problem with that. I'm sure I'll be, well, of course, we're all talking future here, but I will be really looking forward to doing the duties over there as I am doing the duties as your senator here on Guam.
Okay, that as close as I'm going to get to a commitment here. What's it going to take for you to make that commitment? Do you actually need to see Congressman Mike St. Nicholas finally come out and say, I am running for governor in 2022?
That will be even more of a positive there for us, because that means that seat is open. Right now, that seat is filled with our good congressman.
Yeah, and both you and I agree. Mike's doing a great job for us in Washington, D.C., despite some of the old school Democrats wetting the bed on him not signing the unity pledge. But I think he's done a great job for the people of Guam out in Washington, D.C., and certainly between him and other territorial representatives like Kilili up in the CNM. Man, it'd be great, you and Kilili working together.
It sure would.
That would be something. Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
At any rate, 8:45 in the morning. Okay, so I'm gonna put you down in the yes column, but we got to wait to see what Congressman Mike St. Nicholas does, and maybe we'll get a hold of Congressman Mike St. Nicholas and say, well, Jimmy said he's happy to take your place if you want to come out here and run for governor. Because he might be waiting on you. I mean, have you thought about that, Jim? He might be waiting on you.
That's a possibility as well. Those conversations will happen. And I'll be looking forward to that.
Well, let me know. Let me know, because I'll meet up. I'll meet up with you and him in the usual places, and then we can have this conversation. Because I think it'd be fun. I'd obviously support both of you if that's the direction that you guys felt you needed to be going.
That's very true, and I'm sure just our congressman and just like myself, we're looking at where we can best serve the people of Guam. So as things work out, then we'll see what directions we'll finally go. It'd be sooner than later, of course, with the election coming on up.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking. I'm sorry. I'm distracted now because I wanted to take a look and see what was going on with with what people were saying about this on the Facebook Live. I have to take a look at some of these comments before too much longer. In the meantime, you have a fantastic day, Senator. Oh, no, there was one other thing you wanted to talk about. You sent a letter off to Ed Byrne. What are you looking for, the password to the AS-400?
There you go. So in the budget bill, we included on the miscellaneous part that DOA will need to provide access to AS-400 read-only to the senators. So we have access to see how this money is spent. The bill was lapsed into the law by the governor on September 11th. So there's been some time, and I understand the director is off island, will be coming back soon. So it was just a friendly reminder to the director to say, hey, let's get this going. We want to see how this money is being spent and appropriated here. So to include this new money that is coming in just from what was signed into law, it's important for us to see, since the transparency of the government is clear as mud for the senators, that we find out after the fact. So if you're not going to tell us your plan, then I'm going to look at your checkbook. I'm going to see where your debits and credits are going to go, and I'm going to share that with the people of Guam.
Well, if the password is password.
Okay.
So this @ P, capital P, @ $, W, number 0, R, and D. That's the password.
Okay, appreciate that.
No
Rick.
problem. No problem, Jimmy. Always happy to help. You have a fantastic rest of the day. 8:47 in the morning. A little bit later on, we'll be talking with the guys over at Take Care. Number one, because they're such incredible advertisers, have been since day number one. And number two, there is open enrollment for a bunch of people, including the folks, excuse me, in the federal government. I don't know why I get that every once in a while. I think it's I swallow too much air or something like that, and it feels like I got a burp that needs to come out.
Heartburn, Ray.
Dude, I've been getting that lately. Okay, now, 8:48. There's a lot to get to here, and I have not been ignoring. I just haven't had a chance to take a look at what's going on in the Facebook Live and some of the comments there. Millie Lujan Afeisen. Now, I was talking to Jimmy about employees in the government of Guam, executive branch employees. Millie doesn't want to get vaccinated. Millie doesn't want to have a test every week. And she's not alone in this battle, although I feel, unfortunately, like she's alone because I don't know as many doors as she knocks on, as many things as she posts on Facebook. I just don't know that she's got the traction that I think she and others deserve. Last year's heroes, this year's zero. Oh, my God. We need the kids. We need to get those kids educated. We need you in the classroom. We need you online. And we need you taking a look at all of this take-home material. And for the most part, the teachers did it. And for the I want to say they did it on their own. I don't remember a whole lot of people over at their union lifting a finger to make sure that all of that could be done, even without a new kind of collective bargaining agreement, or at least a conversation about having a conversation about a new collective bargaining agreement. At any rate, she writes, half a day, Senators. It's been a total of 22 calendar days since my colleagues and I have been greatly affected by this unlawful and unnecessary health mandate. It's been 22 days since GDOE employees have either been ordered to stay away from their work sites or threatened to take this shot or forced to submit to weekly testing against their will. It is disgusting how you elected public servants sit by and do absolutely nothing to assist the individuals who voted you to sit in that position you currently hold and receive a paycheck, while so many others face each day with stress, worry, and fears of payless payday. It's disgusting how you put on a smile and show up to work every day, well, some of you, while individuals who voted for you continue to suffer even after all of your sweet campaign promises. It is disgusting how you can face each day at work untouched, unaffected, uninterested by this unlawful and unnecessary medical mandate, while individuals who voted you in are greatly affected and suffering or figuring out how to make rent or mortgage payments, buy groceries, or the basic necessities of life. It is disgusting how you sit by and just ignore the discrimination, segregation, and violence happening on our island due to the unlawful. Hold on a second, and somebody typed something in, and now I got to start all over again. It is disgusting how you enable this government to have complete control over almost every aspect of the so-called health emergency. Then our question is, what is your purpose? Why are you here? How do you get paid when you do nothing each week? Let me answer these questions for you. You can sit by because this unlawful and unnecessary health mandate doesn't apply to you. Lead by example. What a joke. It's true. There's no mandate on the legislature. Many legislative staffers have come forward anonymously to say they can do it by resolution. The legislature can end the public health emergency if they wanted to, but none of them have done it. Is this true? Are you unwilling but able to put an end to what is happening? Are you uninterested because you and those you love are not affected by this unlawful and unnecessary medical mandate? Once again, it's been 22 days since our careers have been tossed in the trash as if our years of service, hard-earned credentials and certifications and dedication to education mean nothing to you all. What are you going to do? What is your plan of action? Signed, Mildred Lujan Afeisen, United for Education. I appreciate you writing that and copying me on that. I've about given up on the idea that anything is going to happen with the Klitsky/Gibson resolution. Because, well, what's the line? I'm only one person. You know, they're talking about an override on Bill, what is it, 111? That's would accomplish among the same things with Senator Chris Duenas. It passed the legislature with 8, and then it was over. Then the governor vetoed it. It came back, and they worked on an override in the beginning. And this is where the kabuki magic happens. This is where the legislative sleight of hand. So they can say, as a legislature, we stood up to the autocrat. We stood up to Adelup. We sent them a bill that in no way, shape, form could it be misinterpreted to be anything other than our disdain and our dissatisfaction with the response to the public health emergency. And it got vetoed. And they came back for an override and couldn't get the same 8 people to vote for it again. Hoffa, what happened? Did somebody lose their nerve? So they're going to be doing it. I think Chris was saying they're going to go for another override here of that veto, maybe in the upcoming section. And I remember saying at the time, dude, you got 8 people to vote for this. Pop the resolution in there, just for good measure. If 8 voted for that, then they would certainly support the resolution. No, it's okay. We'll go with 111 here and see what happens. 111 was cover. 111, all that did was provide cover to make it look like they were moving in the direction that the voters wanted them to do, knowing full well it was going to be vetoed, knowing full well that they probably wouldn't have the votes for an override on this. But they did have the 8 votes, and the 8 would have been sufficient for that resolution. Without anything else happening, the resolution would have ended as soon as it was voted on by that 8th person. It would have ended the public health emergency as we know it. The governor could continue to move on. We could continue to procure with whatever procurement rules and regulations existed prior to the pandemic. But as Belushi used to say, but no. I haven't had a chance to riff on this in a second. We've been so busy with other things, but I do want to take just a second to thank James Howard for sending me a picture of the interior of his refrigerator. And the question that I've got is, what the hell do you need so many eggs for?
Yeah.
This is why people don't send people pictures of their refrigerators. I'm looking at it right now. Upper right-hand corner, there looks like 4 dozen eggs.
Yeah, he likes chowder. But look at that. There's 2 containers of Tums.
I see that.
The door.
But that's because we got eggs there. That would be Egg Fart City right there. We've got kimchi. I got some Denancy. You see which one that is? What version of Denancy is that?
Yeah, that's the Pacific Red Hot Pepper.
All right, that's the good stuff. We got a bag of salad down at the bottom. We've got, as you say, a couple of things of Tums on the door, and a tub of I can't believe it's not butter.
Wow, Rick.
But it might not be a tub of I can't believe it's not butter. Because James Howard is like me. Yes, absolutely. James Howard and I are similar individuals. We're both boys from Guam, and we don't throw Tupperware. We don't throw anything that can be used or reused away ever. And that's just the way it works. 8:55 in the morning. I might have time to get through all of this, but it looks like we're about done with the Cannabis Control Board and the work that they need to do on the rules and regulations that we've all been waiting for seemingly all of our lives. Will Parkinson's on the line. Hey, Will, how you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Just shaking off some cobwebs, trying to get here on time for your show.
Appreciate it.
You guys tried to call me yesterday, and I apologize, but I'm a sinful child that sleeps like 9 hours a day.
I envy you. I envy you a great deal. This is a good day for me because the watch told me that I got 7 hours of sleep last night, and thankfully I was watching something boring on Netflix, and maybe that's how it worked out. Anyway, 8:56 in the morning, my simple child. So tell me a little bit about where we are in the process. It looks like it just got to go to the Attorney General's office for that last pass check for the things they don't look for at the legislature.
Yeah, and the stuff with the Attorney General's office, I mean, at this point is basically a formality. Like the last changes we made were basically all the changes the AG requested. And even the changes they made, there was nothing substantial in terms of like nothing was changed in terms of what's the word, of functionality. There was no major changes. It was all clarification things, like, refer to subsection 2 for just things to make things more clear, more for clarity. There was no major movement, as it were.
Right. It's not like you changed your mind and said, okay, now we're going back to dealing with it as a Schedule 1 drug. There are a couple of things that I wish the Cannabis Control Board had the power to do, and that would provide for a little bit of guidance and clarity on what would happen with the proceeds from the sales eventually of the cannabis product here on Guam. Still got to wait out some federal changes.
Yeah, well, some of the problems that we have not problems, but issues we got to deal with in the future are things way above our pay grade, things that need to be done at the federal level, specifically with banking.
Mm-hmm.
That's my big concern, is because without banking reform at the federal level, we're going to be dealing with a lot of cash-heavy establishments, and that concerns me. Just so you never want to be a cash-heavy establishment and rough times and rough neighborhoods.
I do. I think I understand what you're saying, but I have looked at this in a couple of different ways, and I've talked to a couple of experts, and among the ideas that they had was simply overpay your taxes. So if you've got a lot of extra money at the end of a week or month of selling marijuana and opening your cafes and things like that, the idea would be you give that money to Daphne Shimmons over at the Department of Revenue and Taxation, let them hold that in their bank account, and then give it to you as a refund in the next year.
Oh, that is a novel approach of taking advantage of the tax code. Never have I heard of paying more taxes as a way to protect yourself. That's amazing.
Well, and if it takes the government a long time to get that tax money back to you, then they've got to pay a fine, don't they? Don't they have to pay a fee on top of that for getting your tax refunds back to you late?
You know what? I do believe there is, but tax law is not my area of expertise, so I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
It was an interesting idea at the time, and I'm wondering if absent anything else that happens around here, I don't know if that's something that they're going to want to implement when it's all said and done. So from the AG's office then over to the legislature, and they're going to approve it, and then we go to work, right? When do we start setting up licenses?
There's three things that can happen when it gets to the legislature. The first is they can approve it right away, and then we're off to the races. That's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario is the legislature finds something that is deficient in the rules that we have to go back and readdress and amend. And so they basically kick it back to us like the same way the AG did. Or the third option is they do nothing, and after 90 days, it lapses into law automatically.
December, January, February, March 2022. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, at this point, what happens next is out of the Cannabis Control Board's hands. We are at my favorite part of government, where it's blame the legislature now. Anything that happens from here on out is not. I have washed my hands of it.
See, that's why now that this is all said and done, bring it back into the studio. Now, I got Jimmy Craig to admit that he is considering a run for congressman, even though everybody on Guam knows it. Can I find out if you've got any interest in putting your hat in the ring for the legislature?
Yeah, you know what, Ray? I would love to so much, because there's so much service I want to do, but my wife, I just got married recently, and I, finally got my wife here over with me after wrangling with immigration because of the COVID. And, at least for a cycle, I just want to focus on my love and just be a 9-to-5 punching clock guy. But it's just a matter of time before I run again, but maybe not this cycle.
All right. So, and one of these days, you tell me a little bit more about this mail-order bride that you've got. And there are many people that are suggesting that this might be the cycle not to run in, because there's going to be so many feathers flying around with everybody and their brother trying to unseat Lulian Guerrero.
Well, we'll see, because I always hear that there's a lot of people trying to unseat Lou, but Lou's a heavyweight. So, I mean, if people want to get in the ring with her, they still got to remember she's still the champ. She didn't get to be the champ for no reason.
Well, yeah, we could debate this all day long because I remember a certain event at a thing called the Glock Party because up until then things looked like they might be competitive until that showed up and then all of a sudden the Republicans.
You think it was just the Glock Party that did it? You don't think the 8 years beforehand had anything to do with it?
I can't disagree with that point either. Although I will say that it was a stroke of brilliance. They're taking advantage of the Glock Party and you know this to be true. And then putting Lou out there like she was a conservative and coming for conservative values, paying down all of the bills, which thankfully they did, even though it was COVID times. But you know they haven't really done a whole lot by way of crime and getting rid of the crime problems that we've got here on Guam. And obviously, COVID-19 has shown some of the weaknesses in some of the people that she has put in place. A couple of minutes after 9, we'll debate it when you're in the studio. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Let's have some dinner sometime.
All right, let's do that. It will have to be someplace like outside because I'm not allowed to go into restaurants and bars.
Sounds good. We'll make it happen.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you pretty soon. Just after 9 o'clock in the morning, we'll get to the end of Fox News Live here and then spend some time talking to folks from Take Care.
Meaning an attack is highly likely.
It is a stark reminder of the need for us all to remain utterly vigilant.
One person died in yesterday's attack, believed to be the bomber. Police say a device was detonated inside a taxi as it pulled up outside the hospital. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Greater Manchester police say they believe the suspect is a 32-year-old man connected to 2 addresses they're now searching. Volkswagen has lost its attempt to avoid legal challenges from 3 states over its emissions cheating case.
The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected Volkswagen's attempt to avoid facing lawsuits from Florida's Hillsborough County and Utah's Salt Lake County. Those communities are attempting to hold VW and auto supplier Robert Bosch liable under local laws, barring tampering with vehicle emissions controls. The court also rejected VW's appeal in a similar case in Ohio. VW argued the Clean Air Act is a federal law and only the federal government should pursue those claims, and that the company has already reached a $20 billion settlement with the EPA. Jenny Cosola, Fox News.
Eternals remains the nation's top movie. The Disney-Marvel collaboration took in another $27.5 million during its second weekend in theaters. Clifford the Big Red Dog in second with $16.4 million. It opened in theaters last week and was also available to stream at home. Dune rounded out the top 3 with $5.5 million. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tuman location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Burger King says thank you to our drive-thru guests with a very special offer. Every Monday in November, visit our drive-thru locations in Tuman or Hagåtña, and every 10th car will receive a Fire Grill Whopper with a coupon with your order. This is the King's way of saying thanks to our valued guests. Check out our drive-thru service 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Please wear your mask and practice social distancing. BK your way, Tuman Bay, Hagåtña, and the Micronesia Mall.
7 after 9 o'clock in the morning, Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Thrilled as usual to be here with you as we make our way into the thing. What happened? Smoke break?
Man, I don't know, man.
Conversation? Was Parkinson out there?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, did I say something wrong when I referred to the mail order bride thing?
That was my bad.
Okay, because I don't know. It was James Howard said, bam, right for the jugular. And I said, well, wait a second. That's what it sounded like. You know, my wife is finally here. And anyway, I don't want to get involved here. 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning. It's Tuesday. We would normally be doing news and headlines through the course of the morning, but Mana's not here, and I'm not any good at it. So, because otherwise, you know what it is? It's just me picking up the scripts from the different newsrooms. And adding comments, and you're not supposed to add comments when it's like news. Remember?
It's hard for you, man.
I know it's impossible for me to do. And anyway, so I've got in the studio. I got a couple of folks that we're going to be spending some time with, and I don't know how they lucked into it, but I think it's what do they call it? Renewal time for the federal employees and UATANs to start looking around for health care in this town. And so I've got in the studio. I got Arvin Lowell. Good morning, Arvin.
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, everybody.
It's good to have you in here. So we're going to change up the sets here. We're going to there's the set here that has everybody. Armin's here, and Greg Karabrock is in as well. Now, the last time that Greg and I were together, we drank everything that they had over at Carabao. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of all of the above, and so we're not allowed to be together in the same place anymore at the same time. There are actual federal regulations. Whenever Greg and Ray are in the same place, one of them has to leave, except this rare appearance on the radio.
Right, and you have control over that, Ray.
To a degree, a little bit of control is going on. So I noticed that there were a bunch of ads that had come out for Take Care, and I know that you guys just got done with the GovGuam employees and the retirees and got the lion's share of those subscribers, and I'm absolutely delighted to hear about that. I'm delighted because it means that there seems to be a little bit more common sense now in the process. Where back once upon a time, it would be everybody could get their share of if you put together a great package and had great rates and had great services, then you could get your share of the subscribers. And then the geniuses over at the legislature said, no, let's make it so that only one person can win and get that account at any one particular time. And you sometimes when you're in a situation like that, you come out with plans that don't necessarily work for everybody.
Yeah, so this past open enrollment with GovGuam was very successful for us. We were very happy with the outcome there, and I think the individuals that enrolled with us are going to be very happy with the coverage that they have.
Well, they had plenty of time to get climbed to Take Care and the services that you offer and all the new things that you guys have got going on. There's been, I don't know, there's new blood been injected and going, okay, we're not just going to be about seeing kids with temperatures and prescribing antibiotics and stuff. You guys are from word go. If you're a subscriber, if you're with Take Care, there's so many different ways now that you can almost dashboard your health care with Take Care with the apps. But going back on this now, what did you do? A month and a half of Saturdays over at the Micronesia Mall with these job fairs, or the fairs, health fairs?
I would just say that in our business, there's been a sea change in coverages, and it used to be back in the day when I was much younger. Insurance companies would just cover you if you're ill, right? If you go to the hospital, if you see a doctor, you're going to have coverage, and that was about it. But more recently, probably in the last 10 years, those coverages have expanded to include preventive services. So that not only are we covering you for when you're sick, but also giving you the tools and support to keep you well.
I'll make an editorial comment here, and I think that sea change needs to extend to the government. We spent a lot of time looking at Guam Memorial Hospital, like that's where we're going to go when we need to send sick people out there to get surgeries and care and therapies, et cetera, et cetera. But we would save a whole lot more money, I think, if we spent more time on the individual's wellness, if we were looking out for their health, if we were encouraging people to get in better control of their sugars and their diets and their exercises, so that they don't necessarily become an immediate mark for when something devastating like COVID-19 comes along.
Right, and over the long term, if you're able to help people stay well, keep themselves fit, that's going to reduce the times they need to go into a hospital and run up a huge hospital.
Okay, but that's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for me. I tell you what, because I'm spending money on my premiums. How do I get some of that? How do I get some of that back in some kind of something that's attractive, either in my wallet or at my house or in the refrigerator or what? Can I get do I get a yoga mat? Huh?
Well, that's what we've done in a couple of in years in the recent years in Take Care. Is like we not only focus, to Greg's point, on helping you out when you get sick, but also helping you not get sick. And in the same time, it's get incentives. And these are cash incentives if you do what you're supposed to be doing anyways, which is doing your annual physical exam, doing your cancer screenings, doing your vaccinations, doing your annual eye exams.
I'm sorry, I'm in so much trouble. Wait. You're supposed to do those things every year.
Yes.
Not just when you get sick.
That's why it's annual exams, great.
Yeah. And they're all covered at 100%.
Yeah.
So there's no financial reason for you not to get that done, Mr. Gibson. But in addition to that,
you're not my doctor.
You can.
I got to hear this. I got to hear this from my doctor.
Yeah, my disclosure is I'm not a physician. But we also pay you money to get that stuff done now.
Keep going. I like that.
So if people understood that or were aware of that, things would be a lot better.
Now let's talk a little bit about some technology here. I don't do anything without this phone. Yeah. There's moments while it's charging, and I'm going, okay, hurry up with the charge. I need the phone back here, even though the charger is literally 3 feet away from me. If I can't see it all the time, it's bad. I've got a lot of go-to apps that I have here. You guys opened up a new app over at Take Care.
It's an important tool, and that Take Care app has been around for maybe 3 or 4 years now. And it does the normal kinds of things of displaying your member card so that you don't have to worry about your paper card getting destroyed when you go, swimming or snorkeling or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can display that card. But there's other tools on that app where you can do physician searches in our network. It tracks your gym visits.
That's the important thing.
Right.
That's because what Arvin was saying.
Yeah. So each and every time you go to the gym attendant will put in a special code. You get credit for that gym visit, and at the end of the month, if you meet the requirement, you can earn money for that.
Well, that's where the calendars are for all the get-togethers and the gym workouts and things like that. Because that was another thing that I found to be pretty exciting when I was talking with certain people about what their healthcare experience was, and they were saying, well, we've got to take care with our employers, and they will do. It's like a contest. I mean, if you get so many hours in a gym or so many appearances in a workout group or something like that, then there was a credit that you can get. Maybe it's money, and maybe it's a T-shirt, or maybe it's one of those little plastic bentos that we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
There's just so many incentives, as we say, for wellness.
Right, and you don't even have to get to the gym to earn that incentive. We're now giving you credit for self-reported fitness activities.
Oh,
like when you go for a 30-minute run or a jog or you go swimming. As long as you're using one of the fitness apps that's out there, like Strava or Garmin or something like that. You submit that report to us, and we give you credit for that.
It almost doesn't sound like you're in a clinic business either. Because there's so many things. I mean, there's science and technology now to be able to help people, achieve their fitness goals, which should help them achieve their health goals.
So understand the whole point of doing all this kind of stuff is to reduce the incidence of sickness. And if we can reduce the incidence of sickness, that's going to keep premiums low. It's going to keep the cost of care down, and so forth. So there's a long-term view on this kind of thing.
There's, as I pointed out earlier, Jason sent me some talking points that I wanted to go over. But yeah, I think I know enough about your business as a customer. I think I know about enough of your business, just somebody that lives on Guam, to be able to spout some of this stuff back to you without the bullet points. And I think among them are the concept of wellness. And you used to think, okay, wellness is what happens when I go to the gym or when I go to work out, or if I'm eating the right kind of diet and exercise. But there's now another kind of holistic view on wellness. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are getting into hippie medicine, but are you getting into any hippie medicine over at Take Care?
No,
where's my beads? Where's my beads?
No,
where's my puka shell?
Crystals, Arvin. What do I do with crystals?
No, we try to get into the balanced lifestyle. That's also always been our mantra.
Yeah.
Like, it's not only, again, being active, but also, just recently we reopened our wellness center. What we're trying to do there is teach how to eat and prepare your food right, based on the context of, the island likes to eat, right? But how do you still encourage that within the context of healthy eating, the right sizes, the right proportion, and then also, being, we've always done this. We have always like had events like you mentioned where we encourage people to be together, to interact with each other, rather than staying with their phones or mobile devices. So we kind of, create that holistic approach into health and wellness.
I think it's an important thing, and I'll make a challenge now. If there's businesses out there listening that have decided, for the health of my employees, we're going to do 100% vaccination for our business, and that's just the way it is. If you're really, really concerned about the health of your employees, on top of that vaccine mandate that you may have for them, call the guys over at Take Care when it's time for enrollment, because I guarantee right now there are people listening to this conversation going, man, I wish I'd take care of my work. How did, but without getting, too deep into that subject, how does an employee of a shop listening right now go to their HR, their boss, and say, I'd like to get a membership. I'd like to be a subscriber over at Take Care.
So most of our coverage is employer sponsored. So the employer would contact us, and we would take a look at their demographics of their group, and then we would put a rate together. That's one way we could do it. Or if they are part of an association like the Guam, Women's Chamber or the Guam Contractors Association, we already have plans in place, rates in place where they can tap into that.
All right, so it's not like I have to come to you and say, okay, I got 11 guys here, and can you put something together for me? There are ways that I can come in under a larger umbrella, spread the risk. In the insurance business. That's what it's called. Spread the risk around a little bit more, and
as long as you qualify to be a member of those organizations.
I think in many cases, I think the qualifications are, can you pay the dues?
Yeah, and so you can. You'd have to talk to James Martinez about that, but
you mean my cousin? Okay.
But the bottom line there is that a small employer of 11 employees can get the benefits of a much larger employer that's covering thousands of people.
And now, are the benefits bifurcated that way at all? I mean, so depending on the packages that you put together, would I say, okay, this is the Guam Contractors Association package, but wow, those guys over at the Fed, did you see what those guys are getting? They're buying cheap meat.
Well, in the case of the GCA program, there's 3 different benefit plans that are offered. So each individual employee can pick and choose the plan that best fits their needs, whether it's financial or coverage-wise.
Well, when I was a younger guy, you and I are about the same age, a couple of years ago, when I was a younger guy, the people would say, okay, this is not the plan for you. This is more of a family plan. You're kind of a bachelor kind of guy, and maybe there's a different plan for you. And so when you guys put together your demographics and think about risk assessments, et cetera, those are some of the things that you look at, right?
Right. For larger groups, you can kind of do that. You can offer multiple choices in a larger group. You can't necessarily do that on a smaller group basis, and that's why these GCA association type plans with the Guam's Women's Chamber and GCA make a lot of sense.
While I'm thinking about it, I'm healthy, I think. I don't know which one of you guys is a doctor. Probably shouldn't have called that devil here, but I like to think I'm reasonably healthy. I know that I'm carrying a little bit of extra weight because of COVID-19 and my insatiable beer diet. But having said that, I try to watch most of the time the rest of my salts and the rest of my sugars. I'm trying to get as much exercise as I can in a given week of a variety of kinds, cardio, non-cardio, strength training, and things like that. But Real Joe, that guy's a punk. He doesn't do anything.
He's cycling.
But it's all downhill. He only cycles downhill.
No, that's not true, man.
No, I've seen you. You ride a truck up the top of a hill, and then you'll cycle downhill, and then it's flat. So the question is I'm healthy, and I'm doing my best to keep the overall risk low. But that guy over there, you should see him eat. You should see him at. What's the line? Small children and animals could live for days off the stuff that falls out of his mouth. But so how do we encourage our coworkers to get healthier so we can bring overall the risk and then the rates down?
Well, I mean, that's the challenge. As an organization, we can offer all these programs, we can offer all these incentives, but ultimately, it's the individual's choice of what they want to do.
Yep.
That's the challenge.
I used to work in a place, I'd tell you, so you're not getting into an accident, because every time you get into an accident, my premiums go up.
What's that old story? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Well, and so going back to the app, that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about, especially because there are so many ways that you can use that kind of technology for people that need that little bit extra to be able to go, okay, here's the dashboard, these are the exercise programs, these are the benefits to being a part of the exercise programs, and this is how I get it done. If I was a member of Uncle Fed, how do I sign up with Take Care?
Well, if you're not currently a Take Care member, and you go to your federal enrollment portal, and you choose Take Care as your health plan for 2022, and there's a whole process that it's pretty quick. It's all online. It's done through the Office of Personnel Management or their agency, and it's all online.
Okay, so
they basically that's all they do. If they need help with that, they can come to one of our health fairs on Saturday, and we can assist them there with that.
Okay.
Or come by our office. Or
go on the web. I'm sure you can get all the information you need available somewhere on your website.
Nice. So what we do is we have a dedicated web page for our federal memberships. It's at takecareasia.com/openseason21, and they can learn all about Take Care's plans for the federal government. On that page, including downloading all of our material, soft copy. There's a tool on there where they can check out to see how their prescriptions would be covered. It also goes into all of our wellness benefits and things that they can do there. So that's one way. The second way is they can attend our virtual health briefings that we're doing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday online, both in morning and afternoon, or come to the health fairs on Saturday.
And to the website, Ray, they can also, as we were talking about earlier, they can also access those services, those wellness, fitness, preventive services, enrollment.
Okay, if you're not a member, don't go, because it'll just make you jealous. You'll just go, wait a second.
Well, if they're not a member, this is their opportunity to sign up and take advantage of those.
If there's a window of opportunity for you to get in there, and that's what we're talking about here this morning, I'm going to try to get you 99.9% of the information, so you can just go, I like the way Ray dressed it up. That's where I want to go and have them guide me through this health process that we've got. It's all changed. COVID has changed out the landscape of healthcare like you wouldn't believe around here. And I think the one thing that we learned early on, and we continue to see reinforced these days, is we knew who the victims were going to be, and we knew about the underlying conditions that we're going to get everybody. 99% of which are they're avoidable, and maybe you just need a little bit of help getting you from that place. And I know from working with people over at Take Care over the years, you've got a lot of expertise in a lot of different fields. I was delighted to see Nurse Jen in a couple of the pictures for openings of your wellness center and things like that, because I think she's a trusted voice on Guam for healthcare. I think there are people that recognize her from work that she's done in her life, work that she's done on television and features and things like that, and says, oh, I know her, I trust her. If she thinks this is a good idea, then that's fine. But then you also get guys like me that are the opposite of the hypochondriacs that don't go to the doctors unless something is literally falling off. And when I do, I choose some of the doctors that are working in your network now, and that has grown over the last couple of years.
Right, both on island as well as off island. So we have over 200 healthcare professionals in our network here on island, including SDA, and we've added GRMC to our network. So people that are in our plan can access those providers, and of course FHP Health Center is exclusive to Take Care members, right?
Well, you got the health center, you got the pharmacy in there, so it is kind of a one-stop deal. And that's when I was younger, everybody said that you needed to be going to the FHP Healthcare Center, be a member of the Take Care family, because you're a bachelor. It's you don't need all of the family stuff that you might find in other packages. Go sign up for the bachelor plan, and you go there and you get a cold, you get a flu, and somebody's going to give me some pills to take, and then I feel a whole lot better, mostly for having gone. Of course, this is back in the aquarium days, Greg. This is back before the big screen TVs. This is back in the aquarium days over at the clinic.
Plus, you also again have the dental clinic there, and then our urgent care, which is open from Monday to Saturday.
There's a lady that does teeth cleaning over at the dental place. She's
really good.
Yeah, she's really. She knows where it hurts in my mouth and avoids those places.
Yeah, I consider my dentist a more valued partner than my physician because he's putting his fingers in my mouth.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. See, but the other thing is, and I remember the first time I was in there after they'd made a transition. Okay, so among the things they do with Take Care is they're really interested in technology because it makes things that much faster for the patients, and it makes things like coding and billing and that thing much more efficient, thereby keeping the cost down for your care. And I remember going in there and sitting down for the X-rays. Now, if you're old of a certain age, you'll remember the old days of getting your teeth X-rayed at the center. And I was waiting for this long. Okay, wait for it. And the guy sits me down. Click, click, click. Okay, we're gonna take you in to go see the dentist now. So we're not going to wait for 10 minutes for the X-rays to get printed. I said, no, it's all digital now.
Yeah, no more film. It's all digital.
Well, you guys, but digital, not just there. You guys are digital, like think facility wide, right?
Yeah. I mean, people can make their appointments online now. There's a portal both at Take Care and FHP where you can take a look at your claims activity, see where it stands, those kinds of things. I mean, technology has really changed healthcare tremendously.
But I've got access to one of those 64-slice toasters over there, don't we? Is it magnetic resonance imaging?
Highest resolution on island,
yeah.
MRI machine.
Exactly. So if they can't see it off the top, they can't see it in an X-ray, we'll put you on the sled and let you ride the machine for a couple of minutes and see what else is going on.
If you can't get care here on island, maybe you have a need that can't be fulfilled here on island. We've got all kinds of providers off island that you can access on an in-network basis. And more recently, we've tapped into our existing relationship with a company called Multiplan that now gives our federal members access to over 1.2 million providers in the U.S. and Hawaii.
So if need be, and in the next available set of care, or if you're traveling, that's where it happens to be?
Yep, and they have in-network access. In-network access to folks like Mayo Clinic, MD Anderson, Cedars-Sinai.
Oh, those are big deals. Having been associated,
St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Having been associated in the past with a patient that required state-of-the-art care, that was among the things that we needed to do was to put together some paperwork so that it would follow her to Cedars-Sinai.
Yep, and these relationships, this relationship with Multiplan, which is
Anderson and Cedars-Sinai, those are cancer centers.
Yeah, Multiplan is a network aggregator. That's all they do. They go out and contract with providers, and they manage that network. And so we've had that relationship probably in place 10, 11 years now, right, Arvin?
Yes.
But we only just expanded offering that to our federal employees this coming year.
I guess the thought that's in my head now as I think about that is that some of your federal employees might be familiar with or more familiar with plans that were available to them in the mainland when they signed up and then they moved to Guam. So in terms of comparability, how does Take Care stack up along with some of those more well-known
So
plans?
here's an interesting graphic information. Multiplan. Their top 10 healthcare partners in the States are the top 10 healthcare partners in the U.S.
Hey.
So Take Care is in good company there.
So the network that these top companies in the States, healthcare companies in the States, are the same network that Take Care is using in the States.
Okay, well, it's good to know if I'm going back to the States, but I don't know that I need to get on an airplane that will take me any further than I'm thinking in this direction. It would be the CNMI, that way Australia, that way is the Philippines, Korea, and
right. Let's not.
and Japan.
And I don't mean to discount that because that's still in place.
Yes.
So we have all kinds of providers throughout Asia, certainly the Philippines. We have provider contracts in New Zealand.
I remember I was in the Philippines for some care. It was my annual physical, the executive checkup, and I didn't know anybody knew I was there doing because we don't tell everybody at the time. And I walked out and I was just about ready to leave. I was upstairs at St. Luke's, and the lady says, "Okay, now they want to see you over at the Take Care office." And I remember being blown away. I said, "They have an office here?" And then they gave me the worst directions in the world, but I was finally able to go and find the Take Care office. And a lady says, okay, you've never been here before. I said, no, it's my first time. And they literally took me by the hand to walk me to where my physician was located, so I could sit down with him and he could explain to me what the results of all of my tests were. But they didn't want me to leave until that job was done.
Yeah.
And I, you fall in love with the different aspects of the service. Like, you know what? Thanks very much. It's nice to meet with the doctor. I'm going to go take a look at these other numbers. And they say, where? I said, at the bar at the New World is where I'm going to go and take a look at some of these numbers. And it works out that way. And if you need to make contact with somebody, there is somebody in the Philippines in your time zone that you can talk to that's familiar with your case.
That's right.
Yeah, we offer the concierge service in Manila, right? And then what we have recently done is we expanded the access so that, again, even during the weekends, you can literally call in country local number to be able to assist you navigating that system of care.
Well, it's super helpful. I mean, if you don't know anybody there and you've never been through the process, it can be somewhat intimidating. These are not little clinics that we're talking about. They're full-blown hospital, multiple buildings on the inside of them, and there's all kinds of people. And if you're not familiar with the language or the surroundings, then it's nice to have that kind of concierge service, especially in the Philippines. 9:33 in the morning. So, how long do federal employees and annuitants have to sign up?
They can make that switch over to Take Care by no later than December 13th.
What's the rush? What is this? It's like we had to get you in here. It's the 16th of November. We could talked about this for another month. Why don't you come back?
Yeah,
we'll do another one as it gets closer.
There's a lot more to cover.
I'll come and visit you at the shop, and you can show me all the new things. And that way, when it's time we get you back on the air, Arvin and I and you can talk about some of the things that I have not seen in a while over at Take Care.
Well,
anything big you got coming up? Like, because I know you opened up that little spot over at the mall, which is great for these little health fair things. I haven't had a chance to check out the wellness theater that you guys have put together out there. Anything big coming up between here and the end of the year that we need to know about?
Well, recently, again, we opened the wellness center. So that's really what we're trying to do, Ray, is, to your point earlier, is to provide that custom, because we're not trying to do like one fits all thing here. We're trying to customize each for our membership needs, right?
Yeah.
So again, you can come into our wellness center. You can try we have a new machine.
We have a new machine?
We call it the eVault. So you can, it's a more sophisticated machine where it gives you 40 different measurements.
What?
On your body, so that, again, we can tailor more your care on how we will address some of your issues.
Hey, Joe, I think we should do like a remote over there and have Ray get on the eVault, and then we can look at 40 different measurements.
Wait.
Does he get to wear the gown?
Yeah.
It's like
a body.
But I like to wear the gown. I like to wear the gown backwards. I like to wear the gown backwards when I'm there. So so
gowns. You can wear your street clothes.
Clothes.
Yeah.
But wait, what measurements are we talking about? I mean, a body mass? Could I get a body?
Just body mass, everything like body fat, how much water do you have in your body, those kinds of things, which will tell you whether you need to drink more water.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things, it will provide you that.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, because I mean, we're living in an age now where it seems like every time you put on a new watch, you have another opportunity to measure something. I mean, they've got watches now that will measure your oxygen rate, which for some people is going to be really, really good. I love it when it tells me where when I'm exercising, whether I'm hitting my max heart rate, how long I've been at max heart rate, things like that, because that's one of my training tools as a runner. So it's a delight to be able to see things like that, but also a delight to be able to go someplace and say, okay, in terms of measurements, here's a new set of metrics that we can look at. This is where you are today. Go and take a couple of classes with Nurse Jen. Maybe we're going to do some yoga. Maybe we're going to do some strength. Maybe we're going to do some body combat or something like that. Come back, take another look at those 40 measurement points and see whether you've been able to hit new goals.
Yeah, you pair that with the we have a health check app that is in partnership with Virgin Pulse, where you go through a questionnaire and it gives you an assessment of where you stand as far as your health is concerned.
Cool.
So you pair that with the Volt thing, and you've got pretty much all kinds of information in front of you to act on.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I was talking about before. We're giving you all this information. Now you got to take action.
Right, right. For a lot of people that don't know where to start, that's a great place to, like I said, establish that baseline, have somebody take a look at it, and then say, okay, this is what you want to do. You want to bring this number up. This is what you do. You want to bring this number down. Then you go in this direction, and you've got all the technology, you've got all the people there that can help people make those health decisions.
We have the staff that can provide that kind of guidance and classes and. Again, the great thing about Take Care stuff, it's all free.
Can't you just give me uppers or something like that? Kick my metabolism into high gear. I mean, this is back in the doctors used to do that back in the day. Get yellow jackets or something like that.
No, but we do cover insulin at no copay. That's a big deal.
Well, that's
I get it.
That's the other thing too. We tried doing recent years, like especially for diabetics, they used to pricking their fingers. Now we do cover those continuous glucose monitor where they just patch it and then they don't have to prick the technology. So
well, let's as far as the cell part of the interview is done. Now I just want to talk to a couple of guys in the game about some things that are of interest to guys in my age group, and that would be, say, sleep disorders. I consider myself lucky if I'm able to lay down 9, 10 o'clock at night and sleep until about 3 in the morning. Usually about 3, then it's toss and turn land until 4. 4, I got to get out of bed and get to work. So most nights, if I get 5 or 6 hours of sleep, I think that's good. Today I got 7. I think it's absolutely great. There's a lot of people for whom even 5 or 6 hours would be kind of a miraculous deal. And that has an impact on your day-to-day life. It has an impact on your overall
I've read articles that sleep is really, really important.
You guys got any plans over at Take Care that will help address that therapies?
A sleep benefit?
Yeah.
Well, we cover in some of our plans, including the federal program, we do treat or cover treatment of sleep apnea.
Yes.
Okay. Or in some cases, the devices to help people sleep, like CPAP machines, BPAP machines, those kinds of things.
They need to make those micro miniature. I think that the idea of sleeping with something like that would just be,
all hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing look like aliens on your face.
Give it a few years. I'm sure there'll be some kind of implantable device that they'll make to
the same function. What about things like gout? There's a lot of guys in my age group, if they don't take a pill before we start eating, then it sentences them basically for a couple of days of just incredible pain.
So again, Ray, there's to Greg's point earlier, we have a team of experts there. We have a dietitian, nutritionist. We have a provider, Dr. Duenas, Vincent Duenas, that's available there if you want to talk to a physician. We have Nurse Jen, and then we have also our slew of case managers, nurse managers that can help you navigate to your issues. So we don't really, I know you mentioned about a lot about drugs. We don't really I'm personally not an advocate of medication. So we try to do this some natural ways.
Right.
Like how do you do this by eating the right kind of food so that you can manage your gout.
And in our plans cover alternative medicine, so things like chiropractors, acupuncturists, massage therapy. Is covered by our plan.
I like that. I like that. You used a word, and I like the word because it's for a lot of people. I think they need that, especially in this day and age, where we know that COVID-19 is on the hunt for certain people with certain underlying conditions, and a lot of people don't know where to begin. And you used the word navigate, and I appreciate that because I think that's one of those things that people need the most is being able to find a person out there. And people pay for it, right? And just look, tell me what's wrong with me. Tell me how to make myself better. Tell me how I navigate healthcare and what I need to know. Where I'm going to need that in a few years is when it's going to come down to Medicare and Medicaid and all of those different kinds of things. And the donut hole that's got to get filled with this, that, and the other. And it's going to, I will need navigation. If you take a look at the demographic charts on Guam, I think you'll see that there's a lot of people in my age group that are now moving off in that area. where their healthcare needs are going to get more specific. Their needs for coverage of a variety of kinds are going to get more specific. At which point is Take Care takes me this far, and then Medicaid's going to take me the next step further. I don't know where that space is. I don't know what I qualify for under federal systems. I don't know what I obviously know what I would qualify for under Take Care, but there's a handshake that goes on.
Yeah,
you guys know.
Coordination of benefits between some of these federal plans like Medicare and private health care organizations. There's a coordination of benefits that occurs so that between the two plans, you end up possibly even getting 100% coverage between the two.
Yeah.
But, we take it upon ourselves to be able to provide the resources to be able to do this navigation, right? And let's not forget that, it's not only physical health, but it's also mental health. So our plans also cover behavioral health. In this past 18 months, that's become a big issue.
Do you got enough people to do that? My understanding is that there were a lot more people calling in for help on that front, and there was a lack of therapists that were available on Guam.
We have under contract everybody that we can think of that meets our criteria. But the other nice thing if there was anything about the pandemic, it really brought to the front that you can deliver counseling and guidance via telemedicine. And in the behavioral health world, that's really kind of where telemedicine really kind of shone over this. You can listen online to the radio station after this program, maybe a couple of other network programs. That may be among the ads that you hear are for people that are capable of providing mental health care on an online 24-hour-a-day basis. Yep. So many of our providers, both medical and behavioral health, are offering their services via telehealth, and we cover telehealth under our benefit plan.
That's what I say in the commercial. Global providers, a network of global providers, and more. If you got questions about this, there's websites that you can go to and people that you can talk to over at Take Care, and they'd love to tell you the story. Saturday, there's going to be a health fair over at the Micronesia Mall again?
11 to 5 over there. What corridor is that, Arvin?
It's on the Macy's Man Children's side.
Okay.
I'm there all the time anyway. Easy to spot.
And then a reminder that the website is takecareasia.com/openseason21, and that's the federal webpage.
I was going to say open season. Kind of sound like we're hunting here. 9:43 in the morning, guys. Thanks so much for coming by the radio station. Real Joe is going to press a couple of buttons in there, and we might do a selfie on this side or not. I don't know if I'm feeling selfie-ish today, but we'll see what happens. The Ray Gibson Show continues when we return.
Fall in love with your new home this season by shopping Furniture Kathy Style's unbelievable deals. We've brought in new items and restocked on our bestsellers to help you get your home ready for the holiday. We offer free design consultation and financing with up to 12 months of zero interest for you to get what you want and what you need for your home today. Follow us on social media, visit our website at FurnitureKathyStyle.com, or call us at 300-9590 for more information. If you're not buying from us, you're paying too much.
Here's an important message to federal employees and annuitants from Take Care. It's time to choose your health plan. Open season runs from November 8th through December 13th. Take Care offers an expanded network including GRMC, SDA, Dr. Shea, FHB Health Center, and over 1 million providers off-island. Now is a great time to learn more about Take Care's 2022 FEHB offering. Visit takecareasia.com/openseason21 or call 671-647-3526. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Hafide, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Bye-bye.
That's you.
Oh.
You're Ray Gibson.
I am. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Wendy's. What do they got over at Wendy's? They've got that bacon cheddar burger. That it's actually a cheeseburger. But, you say bacon cheddar. The assumption is there's some kind of a cheese in there. Let me guess. It's cheddar. There's cheddar cheese in the bacon cheddar sandwich over at Wendy's. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Smartest guy in the room. What did I say earlier, right? Yeah, brains the size of a planet. It also comes with bacon, hence the name, bacon cheddar. And there's even cheddar cheese. They've even baked in cheddar cheese in the bread that you can find. Bunch of great sauces that go on top of it. In fact, one of them has the word bacon in it again. So find out how we can cure your hungries over at Wendy's. Yeah. A couple of notes here from James Howard and beyond, listening to the conversation with Will Parkinson. And just because they are about done with just paperwork here doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be able to, like in February or March next year, be able to line up at a dispensary and go buy what kind of marijuana around here?
$100 joint.
Super sativa. Yeah, $100 joint. Yes, because the license costs so much, and the testing costs so much, and the license to open a business that sold it costs so much. So, we'll be able to get you an ounce for about, I don't know, a couple of $3,000 or $4,000. But, man, there's going to be some primo weed. The second they open up a dispensary, there's going to be like 5 guys in the village selling their stuff for 20% of it at the front. It'll be just as good. And they will be just as happy. And then that will be the next big thing, is to watch everybody that has made significant investments in the technology, the licenses, et cetera, are going to stand up and say, we need more law enforcement. Wouldn't it be the suck if there was more law enforcement on guys that were selling marijuana on the side of a dispensary, as there are all the meth drug dealers that we've got now, right?
Streetwalkers, Ray.
Streetwalkers. Don't know how I feel about that. My preference has always been to localize it, and that's why my preferred term for these people is the Saki Milanias.
Yeah.
They're just, what do you do for a living? I steal, or I help people steal. And you know who they are. The cops know who they are. You can see these guys on the road. And this is the problem. If it sounds like a criticism of the police department, it absolutely should not. It absolutely should not. The police officers are doing their job. They know who these guys are. And when they see them in their second Millennium mobiles, they get pulled over. Because there is some kind of violation on that car. I guarantee it. The cops are going to go, hey, how come the license plate in the front doesn't match the one in the back? Why is that? How come there's 17 people in the back seat of this car? How come none of the lights seem to be working on this car? How come everybody's got these Chinese eyes? I'm sorry. Somebody's going to take that the wrong way.
Oh, boy.
What? That's what we used to call it back in the day.
Yeah.
And if it's from back in the day, it's okay.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Chinese eyes.
I'll fight you on that with axe. Anyway, so the cops, they pull these guys over. This is a cliche. Because they don't stop at lights, or they just drive too fast, or they drive too slow, and cops know exactly what kind of car to look for. Pull these guys over, and so they'll get them on a moving violation of one kind or another. And then the cliched question, they've gotten so good at writing this over at the Attorney General's office, is, do you mind if we inspect the vehicle? No, I don't mind if you inspect the vehicle. And then the cops always find a bag or something literally out in the open, and the guy says, oh, that's not mine. I got that from my friend. Who's your friend? I don't know his name, but he's my friend. This is my cousin's car. Who's your cousin? I don't know his name. He's my cousin. And so this methamphetamine makes you stupid, and it makes you think everybody else is stupid. And so the cops will get these guys, and they will arrest them, and they go to the courthouse, and the guys over at the courthouse in the robes that are supposed to be looking out for our safety will often, they'll knit their eyebrows just like mine. They'll knit their eyebrows and say, this is a very serious thing that we're talking about here. You get busted with crystal methamphetamine, a very serious charge of dealing drugs here, and you're bad. But tell you what, why don't you come back in 3 or 4 months? Don't have time to put a case together against you right now. I got the magistrate report. Looks like you're going to be in some kind of hot water. And there used to be a time when I was a kid. There used to be a time First of all, when I was a kid, we didn't have any of the kind of problems that we've got now with crystal methamphetamine. We had heroin issues.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem, the thing with heroin was somebody got on the wrong side of somebody else. This is a dead body up in Nimitz. That's what happened. There'd be another body found at Nimitz, and they kind of controlled everything. But now there's so many guys bringing in so much stuff from so many different places that we just the system now is overwhelmed. I think we ought to have just one court, and that's all they do is keep track of these guys.
Bring back a body.
Oh, you don't want a body back here.
I'm still scared of a body.
Dude, I tell you what, if I was a judge, I would be a body judge. I tell you what, do I need to be a lawyer to be a judge? No, you don't. You don't. I don't think so.
It's a good idea, though.
I think there ought to be. We ought to do this. There's places where they don't have enough judges. I mean, there's not like a judge for every courtroom in the country, and so they either bicycle judges around or they find somebody that's got a little bit of common sense and say, okay, you're the judge now. Raise your right hand, and look, if you got a problem with it, then appeal your case. But in the meantime, this is me. I'm looking at your case. I'm looking at the facts provided by the police department. I'm looking at the law. And if you are clearly outside of the law, then I'm going to make you guilty, and I'm going to put you into jail for a little bit. Right now. Not in 6 months, not in 10 months. I don't need to see your mother. I don't need you to go have time to go and get a nice outfit and busted brown clothes and get a haircut. What you screwed up. You broke the law. There's the jail. There's the man. Take him to jail. I would be that guy. You know what else? I'd be the guy that says, okay, man, you're a hard case. So here's your choice. I'm going to put you at the Department of Corrections for 5, 6, 7, 20 years. Or you can leave and never come back. That's it. Get on the airplane. Get on the airplane. Find me, do a car wash, buy a ticket.
Hawaii.
Goodbye.
Straight to Hawaii.
Straight to Hawaii. You can go and be somebody else's problem. It used to be once upon a time when you get these kids in that kind of trouble, you'd get guys like a body that say, well, I needed a voice up here like this. Kind of, you knew there was mafia in there. Nice guy. Ham radio operator, in fact. And a body would, although I've been challenged on this, I know for a fact that it happened because I knew guys that it happened to. But he would exile people, and your choice was either jail or exile or join the military. Back in the day.
Oh yeah.
You could join the military, and that would be enough to get you out of his courtroom.
Some of them did really good too. Huh?
I imagine that some of them did pretty good in the military. Yeah. Problem is now the military doesn't want you. The military only wants smart people that haven't committed any crimes. Yet you can commit the crimes once you're in. 9:53 in the morning, and as ridiculous as this is going to look, I'm going to put it up on the screen anyway. You've seen it, I'm sure, perhaps in a couple of places. This is one of a couple of different versions that I've seen recently, and there might actually be something to it. Unvaccinated sperm is the new Bitcoin.
That's you and me, man. We're going to be rich, Ray.
9:54 in the morning. No, I'm serious, guys. Think about that. I'm not going to say anything about what may or may not be in the vaccines. But more and more, especially because we're vocal about being unvaccinated, people have reached out to me and referred to me now as a true blood. As a true blood.
Oh, wow. That's special, man.
I have the same blood in running around my system. It might be tainted with a little bit of Michelob Ultra, but I've got essentially the same thing floating around in my body as I had in the beginning of the year, before the vaccines had gotten out here. And do we know what the long-term impact of this is going to be? And there's a couple of different ways that you can look at it. There's some people out there say the long-term impact of this vaccine is I'm not going to get COVID-19, or if I get COVID-19, it won't be so bad. And then you've got some other people that say, well, the long-term impact of this is eventually we're going to see, I don't know, zombie apocalypse and children being born with scales, if they're born at all. That's what we're going to be seeing in the we've got people with these dystopian, almost apocalyptic views of what the world is going to be like. And to the degree that they, one or the other, might be right. My position has always been I don't need to Therefore, I'm not going to. But the idea that there is even a conversation that says that unvaxxed sperm is the next Bitcoin, well, that just adds to the overabundance of caution that I have got about my vaccination. I'll never be able to go backwards. Once they is there or is there? They say that. God, I'd read this. It's amazing. There are people for whom they will go out and get vaccinated, and then will go and investigate. I swear to God, it's happening. Therapies to remove the vaccine from their body.
Oh wow, cha-ching!
You're right.
Someone's making money.
Whether it works or not. Okay, this is completely in the realm of crazy, kind of deep internet crazy that comes out. But the theory is you want to go eat at Mosa's. They won't let you in unless you're vaccinated, right? Or you're going to show your vac card or whatever it is the protocol is. And so then you go get your free vax, get your second shot, and then you go in and you eat the Tinatla Chutney. Or the chorizo burger. Arr. And then you go find somebody that has the knowing on how to, I don't know, get the vaccine out of your system.
James Howard.
James Howard
Suck
probably
out the
knows.
poison.
James. That's right. Draw
poison,
X.
James.
Draw an X and find something like snake venom out of your system. I don't know how much to put into it. Is there a way to do something like that? Is there a way to unvaccinate yourself once you've been vaccinated, or is it like getting a vasectomy? Once it's happened, and there's no backwards. There is only forwards from here, guys. So I don't know exactly how that's going to work out for you. But what is it? What did you say? Suck out the vax? What is it? How about like an Indian sweat lodge?
Yeah.
Could we do something like that? Here's the deal. They do this. My Palawan friends do this. When the Palawan girl has the baby, they coat the mom in turmeric. And then they build a little sweat lodge. I've seen this happen, and the mom sits in the sweat lodge, and all of this stuff happens. And the theory is, some of my Palawan friends are going, "Oh my God, that's you. Whatever it is, you screwed up the story. This is our culture. Let us tell the story." But the idea is, it will restore the mother and her body to pre-mom status. I cannot vouch.
Stretch marks disappear.
And stop talking right there, because I know I know where your head's at right now, and it's always a dangerous place when we're talking like this. So you can tell Mana's not here today, because Mana doesn't tolerate this kind of discussion from the boys in the chairs. Hey, it's about time for me to begin thinking about wrapping up the program. There's, as usual, a ton of stuff that I wasn't able to get to, and that's okay, because I'll be here all week. There's no holiday coming up over the next couple of days, so anything that I missed today, I might be able to cover up for. Still reeling from the idea that your king's bread isn't made in Hawaii. And if you missed that portion of the program, it is, as we discussed today, a judge has tossed out claims that King's Hawaiian roll packaging is misleading. The fact that it says Hilo Hawaii on it, established 1950, and says literally King's Hawaiian bread on it, means nothing. It's not baked in Hawaii. They moved the operations to Torrance, California, of all places. It is, as they say, buyer beware, isn't it? So think about that. Maybe you walking around the grocery store today and see a product and say, I wonder if, because sometimes you pay a premium for some of these things based on, some exotic value that comes along with it. And it is possible that you have been bamboozled, like the governor's office bamboozles the legislature. Same thing by something as simple as marketing. Hey, it's 10. For Real Joe and Mana Silva-Tyron and Jerry Roberts, my name is Ray Gibson saying thanks so much for watching. Catch us tomorrow right here on The Point.
Sarah, 12 men and women in Kenosha County, Wisconsin, about to decide the fate of Kyle Rittenhouse, the 18-year-old charged with shooting 3 people, killing 2 during protests in Kenosha last year. Defense attorney Mark Richards says Rittenhouse acted in self-defense.
When my client shot Joseph Rosenbaum, he feared for his life. He feared because of the prior threats, the prior statements, and the violent acts that had been witnessed by my client.
Prosecutor Thomas Binger says Rittenhouse was seen as a threat.
The crowd sees the defendant running with a gun. He's lying to them. He still has the gun. He's shot someone.